we should be live. So I'm just gonna double check right now.
Yep.
So you can check through your computer, or I'll check through my phone real quick, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna start in just a moment. Just want to make sure you can hear me well. Okay, so yeah, they can hear me.
It's all good?
Yeah. Yeah, so usually there's a bit of a delay when live streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're pretty much live right now.
Alrighty.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Today I'm here with Crypto Lookout.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me, Underground Tech.
Yeah.
Shark?
Yeah.
Always
yeah,
nice,
what's
man.
up? Yeah, always good.
Nice
Always
seeing
a
you.
pleasure. Yeah. So I mean, pretty much wanted to go ahead and talk about cryptocurrency. This is something I was building up on for a little while. And I wanted to personally invest in cryptocurrency, and I know you very well.
Yeah.
I know professors have been praising you, talking about, knowing about crypto and.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the space for pretty close to a year now. Got back into it when I figured it out from actually a class called Technology and Innovation. Part of the class was to go out into the real world and find innovating technologies. Came across crypto because I was looking into the stock market. Obviously, that was the big run last year in 2017. And yeah, I found out about it. I actually went downtown to a place called Chicago Blockchain Center. Met a guy named Phil Gomes.
Oh, that's cool.
He kind of really explained to me in depth what blockchain really is and the future implementations that are going to come to the real world. And from there, I kind of just fell into it, man. I just really went into it with studying on YouTube and getting into. I mean, crypto Twitter is great. That's that's where I'm at now.
Crypto Twitter. Is that like stock Twits basically?
No, I mean I'm literally on Twitter.com. The social media app. It's a really solid community, and you can actually learn a lot from. There's a lot of people that can help you out in there.
Is it with hashtags mainly?
Yeah, I mean basically hashtags. You get to the place where you're following people that are in the space, and I mean I like Nye the Crypto Guy, and there's a bunch of them. Crypto Moon, Crypto Coin News. There's a bunch of different accounts that are just basically cryptocurrency influencers that can provide a lot of help and education. It's also kind of working into what Crypto Lookout is going to be, and it is an early startup mode of that as well.
Awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's how it's gonna work. I just want to make sure they can hear us well, and I was just testing it out, so I think we're both able to be heard pretty well.
Okay.
So I was gonna say we're gonna start by I'm gonna ask a few questions, basic questions, and some of them are gonna be a little more intensive, and we're gonna have some questions that we can answer from the group, assuming if there's any.
Okay.
So yeah, we can just go ahead and get started. I was gonna say my first question I have for you, to give a quick background, I wanted to personally invest in cryptocurrency, but I'm a little pessimistic, as I told you before.
Right.
So, explain to me, as if I'm very new to this stuff. So, what is cryptocurrency and how does it work?
Definitely. So back in 2009, start of the year, Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a person who's still unknown to the world.
And we don't know if it's a person or
we don't know if it's a person or it's a group. That is correct. Could most likely, in my opinion, I would say it's most likely a group. But they came out with the Bitcoin white paper. It basically explains exactly what Bitcoin is, and basically took off from there. I mean, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer digital ledger system that allows transactions to be verified without essential authority. So you don't need a bank or a central database to be able to verify these transactions. And don't get me wrong, we've had this for a while, especially with the internet. The internet's pretty old, We've had the ability to send transactions, such as an email. That's just basically the same thing, except the only thing is there's no way to prevent sending that email to everybody else. So that's where the problem comes in, called double spending. That's actually notified. I mean, this is the abstract. Just from reading the abstract, you can kind of get the gist of what Bitcoin really is. I mean, Bitcoin is, like I said, it was the first cryptocurrency, and it uses the blockchain technology, right? That's the verification of all the transactions. That's done by mining the network.
Okay.
So these miners, right? That's just basically computing power. So we talked about your CPU and GPU power. If you can use that to actually solve complex mathematical equations, that are ran through the system. By solving those equations, you're actually providing proof to the network and validating these transactions, and you actually get paid not only the transaction fees that the customers of Bitcoin use to send these transactions. You actually also get rewarded with new Bitcoin. That's actually how the new Bitcoins are created.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, like, compared to the stock market, are the prices, like, solely running on, like, supply and demand, basically? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely requires supply and demand. It's the same way with as the stock market with it being traded through exchange rates. There's plenty of exchanges out there, Coinbase, Binance, KuCoin. There's plenty of them out there, and a lot of them now are starting to get into the actual fiat pairings. So USD to actually Bitcoin, USD to Ethereum and other coins, and that's actually going to be the main impact in how supply and demand can actually come into effect, because right now a lot of people don't really have access to it, so it's hard to really define demand. But yes, there is a set amount of supply at the same time. There is only going to be approximately 21 million Bitcoin ever created, and that actually came from the Genesis block, first block ever created.
Interesting.
So there will never be any more created, which actually allows for scarcity. So then it kind of really only defines on demand of the product, and demand can easily go up and down just based on the exchange rate. So that's kind of how it's defined.
Okay, for sure. Awesome, man. So you were talking about fiat currency. Now this is a dumb question, but is fiat currency like the US dollar and everything?
Yeah, I mean, no dumb questions, man. But yes, fiat currency is any like physical. So we have a piece of paper that is known as value based on from what the government says to us, right? So if there's multiple fiat currencies. I mean, like the yen, USD, all foreign currencies are actually also fiat as well. Just fiat. The difference is fiat and crypto. I guess that's kind of where that's like the word difference.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was just wondering if fiat was like its own like currency. Or
No. Fiat just means regular foreign currencies that we have now.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, cool. And if I wanted to get into investing or owning some, currencies, how would I do it?
To start off, I would definitely suggest Coinbase. Coinbase has been around since I want to say 2013, maybe later. I'm not sure. But they've been around. They actually just got valuated at an $8 billion company. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean this just came out. They're huge.
Yeah. That sounds pretty big.
Yeah, I mean like I said, when I first got into it, my roommate, he actually was the first one. He bought some Bitcoin, and he's like, yeah, man, I got this Coinbase app. It was really easy, and he like showed it to me, and that like next couple of weeks from like that spread from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I know their like their customer rate just exploded. Like they gained, I don't even know. We can maybe see here.
And I'm checking the chat out. What's up, guys?
I'm not sure. Yeah, they had a crazy amount of new customers come in when that rise came. Obviously, just because Coinbase is one of the only ones for the U.S. that you can actually do the easy USD to crypto transaction.
Okay, interesting. Cool, man. And how is Coinbase's fees? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so the fee system, I mean, you're gonna pay a fee just because they do have to get the transaction through. No matter what, in cash, you're always paying a fee. You're paying taxes in some way. There's always
the stock market.
In the stock market as well. I mean, right now there are some that are offering lower and lower prices. I mean, you see the commercials for it all the time. I mean, the competition's out there. That has drove the prices down for that. Coinbase's fees, they're not terrible. I know if you use a credit card, that does add an extra expense. So I think those get up to like 5 to 7% in the fees.
Versus like directly a bank account. Right?
Yeah, a bank account or a debit card even, they take a very small fee. I want to say like around 2 to 3%.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. And like I said, you're really early to the crypto space, so
Yeah.
you know, hopefully these things move on. 2 or 3% doesn't really matter to you.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like Bitcoin, you know, just surging upwards, or like any currency, crypto surging upwards like it did back in December, that would be something like 2-3% is like nothing. That wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, back in November to December, we were seeing 100% gains like
Yeah.
throughout the whole market. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's probably not the healthiest thing.
Mhm.
But when these things take off, they can really move, especially because they are still so new.
Right, right. And I was gonna say, you know, off of cryptocurrency, but even PayPal does the same thing. So if you use a debit card or credit card, they charge you a fee. It's a small fee, but it's like they charge you a fee versus using a bank account. to
Right,
transfer.
and are you saying as a person receiving money on PayPal or actually sending it as well? Do you get charged a fee to send? I know I've received money on PayPal. I don't think I've ever sent a transaction on PayPal.
Yeah, I don't think it's for sending. It's just for receiving.
Oh,
Like,
just for receiving?
yeah, when you want to transfer.
Well, then how do you take it out? You go into your bank account then?
Oh no, you go into your PayPal account, and then you can either transfer it to your credit card or
So
your
you
bank
can transfer
account.
out of there? Okay.
Yeah, your card, it'll charge a small fee. I think it's 25 cents.
Okay.
And then bank account is free. It'll take 1 to 3 business days. And
Right.
then debit cards within minutes. Now, have you heard of Venmo?
I have heard of Venmo.
Have you ever used it?
I have used Venmo, yes.
Yeah. So PayPal actually owns Venmo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is the very interesting thing. I know we're getting off topic, but like real quick,
No,
it's
it's
just
alright.
like So it's like when you think about it, like a 25-cent fee doesn't sound like much. You know, when you're on your phone and everything,
Yeah.
people can obviously put their bank accounts, but it's like I feel like we're just lazy to put it in, so people don't mind paying 25 cents.
Right.
And that really adds up for itself when you think about it.
Oh, definitely.
Like compared to buying like an app for 99 cents, doing 4 transactions there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Venmo works well, but they also have pretty low amounts that you can send. So when you start looking into sending, you know, it works when you're sending it, you know, going out to the friends, paying for an Uber or for dinner or something like that, you know, splitting that. But if you're looking to send, I don't know their limits, but I know they're pretty small. I don't want to say out a number here. So that's kind of like the problem I see there. And another thing you mentioned, 1 to 3 business days. You know, sometimes you really can't wait for that money. Cryptos are pretty instant. I mean, Bitcoin's transaction put through, the blocks are created every 10 minutes. So a new block is created every 10 minutes.
Okay.
So, in essence, everything should be sent through them. With the adoption of the Lightning Network, we should be seeing pretty much instant transactions through Bitcoin. And I mean, that's just Bitcoin. Like I said, it was created in 2009. There's plenty of new coins out there that have much faster transaction speeds that can actually keep up with, you know, Visa and MasterCard.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and I guess going back to Coinbase real quick.
Okay.
So when you, I do have the link down in the description. So if someone signs up with your referral link, they get $10.
Yeah. So signing up with the referral link, I mean, it doesn't cost anything. It's just creating an account. Purchasing your first $100 of any cryptocurrency, you actually receive an extra $10, and I will actually also receive an extra $10.
So both parties.
Both parties receive an extra $10. So I mean,
it's a win-win.
Yeah, and that basically eliminates your transaction fee on your first one right there. You know, you're actually making more. So like I said, it's a win-win. So
well, yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely check it out in the description. Start your first Coinbase account.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And now there's another one that we're both familiar with. It's called Robinhood.
Yeah.
And I know we've been talking about this. So how does Robinhood work with their commission-free trading of cryptocurrency? Are you familiar with that by any chance?
Yeah, I mean, Robinhood came out with that not too long ago. I want to say in the summer they actually introduced it. I know when we were back in school, they like came out with the update and they had like the pre-order. But in the summer they started actually rolling it out state by state. And yes, like you said, I've used it for my stock trading. I know you use it as well, correct? I mean, it works great. Free commission, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot complain about that. The thing with the cryptos is you're actually not owning the cryptocurrency itself.
And that's very interesting.
Yeah, it really is. I do believe that not Coinbase, I'm sorry. That Robinhood, they actually have to own that amount. So they have it in reserve. But I believe they have a trading desk where they have people actually trading it live, dealing with the market fluctuations. Just because I mean, because the markets are so new, there is actually a lot of arbitrage out there through different exchanges and such like that. That's a little bit further into it. But these people that are actually developed and like set up in this space, there's lots of money to be made on a daily basis. So that's kind of my guess with Robinhood is they actually have the option to purchase, but they're not allowing people to own the coin. The one setback for that is obviously if they did crash, who knows if Robinhood would actually be able to pay you out. I don't know what their coverage is. I don't like that just because I don't store any of my money outside, or I don't store any of my money on an exchange. I always store them either in a cold wallet or in an external storage wallet, not on an exchange, just because that's where the hacks actually happen, and that's where accounts can get shut down and bad things can happen. I try to stay off the exchange as much as possible.
So you're saying that that's more likely to happen with Robinhood crypto?
Not in the sense of a hacking. I'm just saying if the market were to crash, and you owned Bitcoin, I don't know if they might freeze your trading and not let you get out because they don't have that to be able to sell. That could be a situation. That's why I want to actually have ownership of my coins. I want to have control of the wallet that those coins are in.
No, that's fair.
So you can't send, like, if I buy Bitcoin on Robinhood, you can't send that Bitcoin to somebody else.
Yeah.
You can only then sell it back to Robinhood.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. So it's like they just buy it in reserve. So that makes sense why they only have it at certain states right now.
Yeah. I believe the state ruling is because they're waiting for not legalization but regulation state by state. So they want to make sure they're complying with everything. And that's kind of why it's been slow. I know we're going to be actually one of the last to probably receive it here in Illinois.
And that's so unfortunate.
Yeah,
I remember
definitely.
They promised us that we would be like one of the first 5 states or something.
I know.
It's whatever though, but going back to Coinbase, if you'd like to go back on
of course.
So basically Coinbase is where you can create a wallet and it's a brokerage?
Yeah, so they do have, you can store your coins on Coinbase, but they are an exchange, and something about their exchange, they're centralized. So that means there's a whole KYC process, know your customer process, so they actually know who you are, and they're able to, I don't want to say they're in control of your account, but you're on their networks, your wallet's on their network. So I know back probably a year and a half ago, there was a 2 or 3 day period where everything was locked on your wallet, so you couldn't make any exchanges from that. So that's, I mean, that kind of could be catastrophic, especially with the volatility in cryptos, So there is a problem there. Another thing I did not like about Coinbase that I think they've had some updates on it, I know, but before, when you were buying it, it would almost take like 5 to 7 days for you to have those coins in your wallet. You would get locked at the price that you purchased at, but you wouldn't have access to like withdraw from your account or to actually sell. So that was a problem, but I do believe it's much faster now. I know that you can. The way that I mostly do it is actually I transfer USD into that, because they do actually have a USD wallet as well. So if you were looking to get out of Bitcoin and didn't want to actually transfer your money out of Coinbase, you can sell into their USD equivalent.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And so is Binance the same thing as Coinbase then, or? So
Binance is actually not located in the United States.
Yeah, it's in China.
Yes.
I know.
I want to say Hong Kong. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
I want to say they're located in Hong Kong, but either way, they're not located in the U.S., so they don't have to abide by the regulations. They offer many more coins. We can actually go to Binance really quick.
Oh, so it offers more than Coinbase.
Yeah. I mean, Coinbase only is offering the 5 coins. So it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum Classic is pretty new.
Okay.
So that's only 5 coins. There's over, I want to say, now there's probably almost 1,800, maybe even close to 2,000 different coins out there.
That's crazy.
So I mean, yeah, like going through CoinMarketCap is probably one of the best websites. If you want to do some research, going through CoinMarketCap, you can see everything. They have all the old stuff as well. So I mean, you can go through and you can see like the history as well. So I mean, going back and viewing what coins were like 5 years ago, what coins were even on the market 5 years ago. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, back to your question with Binance. Binance has a lot more pairings. So I mean, being able to trade anything from Tron to all the ERC20 tokens that are new to the market. They don't have the ICOs. That's kind of like the step after the ICO. ICO is just raising that initial funding. And then their goal is to obviously get listed onto Binance Exchange or other exchanges out there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And what would you say is... Actually, I'm not sure if you want to, but not being specific on the amount of coins, but what... Can you tell us, like, what coins you have in your wallet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sharing, like, my holdings, my bag,
Yeah.
my crypto bag, as they like to say.
Yeah, you don't have to say the amount, but, like,
yeah, of course.
Which ones personally?
So I do own some Bitcoin.
Wow.
Obviously, I mean, I would say that everybody should, because I like it because there is scarcity. There is a set amount of it. You know it's going to be there. So in my opinion, I'm very optimistic. I say there's no reason to not hold at least some of it. So I do have some Bitcoin, of course.
Can we check that chart out by any chance?
Yeah, let's go to the Bitcoin chart. So I mean, I do own Bitcoin. This is the lifetime chart. It looks amazing. Starting back at a couple. I mean, this is the $100, but I mean, it did start at a couple pennies.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the first transaction of Bitcoin is actually awesome. Are you familiar?
No, I heard it was 2009 though. Is that true?
Yeah, 2009. Two pizzas were actually bought from I believe it was 2 Domino's pizzas.
Oh, that's crazy.
And the person spent 10,000 Bitcoin for these 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
And 5 days later, the valuation of Bitcoin went up 900%.
5 days?
5 days from that first transaction, just because there was actually value to these things. It actually found value. Someone's actually finding a use case, and I mean, from there, obviously, that was from an eighth of a penny, so 0.008 to then 8 cents. And I mean, now we actually went up to about 20,000 back in 2017. So I mean, imagine being one of the early adopters.
Oh yeah, let's just look at the year to date.
Yeah, let's look at the YTD for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's coming off these very high highs. Like I said, it almost hit 20,000.
Would you say it's coming down from the bubble? Would you say that was even a bubble?
Yeah, I would definitely say that was a bubble. I mean, kind of like we were talking about earlier, the Coinbase surge. That really, it really came from like just the U.S. and I don't want to say just the U.S. because obviously these are global markets, so money can be coming from anywhere. But like I said, Coinbase, they had a surge in customers, and I believe the prices just escalated with the amount of the people that were just coming in. You know, there was definitely. The greater fool theory definitely played a factor because people were buying it. The only real reason why people were buying it was because they knew that somebody else would buy it for more money, right?
Yeah.
That was so we lost the underlying value, right?
Yeah.
But what it did do was open up the market to many more people. So even though these people were buying it without knowing, they were getting into it, right? So and then at the end of it, a lot of people did probably get hurt. You know, there was a lot of people that got in from 15 to 1900, and either they're still holding or they lost a pretty good chunk of what they invested.
Yeah.
And that really hurts, and that's just bad timing in my opinion. There was definitely visuals to know that if you knew what you were doing, you could see that this was an overvaluated market. I mean, we broke 10,000 and we were at 17 in like less than a week. You know, true. Things like that are just not in any market. It's just not right. You know, so that was definitely a bubble. And yes,
can we see the chart for?
Yeah, let's.
I think you do the 1 year.
Yeah, the 1 year you can see it. I mean,
because it was in December. Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, yeah, this is where it came off of the highs where it almost hit 20,000 up here.
I'm wondering if we can zoom in quickly.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's pretty close to 20,000 on the highs. I mean, there's 20,000 there, and I mean now.
It's kind of rebounding from its lowest point, which is about $4,000, right? If we look at the year to date.
So yeah, if you're looking at the year, I mean, even on the 1 year, you can see this. I mean, this bottom. This is the main chart. I mean, this was the like I would say consolidation before it took off. After that, like 7,000 break. It kind of took off. Started. I mean, obviously 10 was a big number, And I feel like 10 is going to be a big number just because adding another digit, for some reason, adding another digit is just like, no matter what, in stock market and anything. I mean, if you're going from like that 99 cents to like $1, like that's a big move in penny stocks, you know? There's always huge breaks on the penny break.
You know, that's what happened with Elon Musk.
What's that?
You know he was charged by the SEC, the Security Exchange
Oh yeah,
Commission.
the recently.
Yeah. So because he was thinking about making it going private, his tweet. Would you like to search it up if you can?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to make you do all the work.
No worries.
So if you look at Elon Musk 420 tweet or something.
Yeah, let's go to it. That's that's a funny. I mean, that's definitely a conversation to have. I mean, what he did probably wasn't right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the problem was, and you guys, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, and considering taking Tesla private at 420, funding secured.
Yeah.
So what happened was I skimmed through some articles, and I read that he was talking to, what was it? The Saudis about making it go private.
Okay.
And he put like a 20% premium on his stock, and what happened is that it jumped up.
Right, I do remember that.
Yeah, like to 370 from like 290 a few days ago, and then they had to stop it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I'm just gonna quickly finish this. What it was that he made a 20% premium all the way to 419, and he said he just rounded to 420 because he thought it was just a funny number. It was like an inside joke. And
with his girlfriend, right? There was something with
something like that. But here's the thing: when you add just $1, that adds $7 million of value to your market cap.
Wow.
I believe that's the amount.
So that's the reason why the SEC was going off, because he did he really have the funding at 419 and then he just said 420? That's the only reason, or is it because he tweeted the private?
So the thing is, the tweet shouldn't be the problem because the SEC recognized tweets as like official statements from like the CEO.
Okay.
So that's not a problem. People thought it was. That's not the case. It's actually because of that.
So because he was off $1.
I want to say that's because. Don't hold me accountable for this, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
That seems very interesting. I mean, I also heard that it was a joke. I mean, I didn't look too much into it. I am a huge Elon fan, though.
Oh yeah. He posts some funny stuff.
He does. He's very funny.
Go to his Twitter.
I mean, his other one. I'm not even sure if it's still on here.
Yeah, about the SEC.
Yeah,
the shorting and exchange.
Yeah, so he probably shouldn't have said that one.
Yeah.
But man, it did make me laugh.
Yeah, is it a little further down?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it ended up getting deleted actually.
Did it? I think it was October 1st or something.
Okay, let's go back.
Man, maybe he did delete it.
I thought he might have had to delete it.
Yeah, I guess he did delete it. That's so funny.
But yeah, it was pretty funny.
He was going on a rant about shorting and everything too.
Yeah, and I mean, like, getting back to it, his price did spike, and I thought it was just because of the tweet. Now that I know that if that is correct, that he's off $1, I mean, that was the day after. That was maybe the week after the whole Joe Rogan thing, when he was on his podcast and there was all the memes going around.
That was the problem too.
My thing is, I know a lot of people probably didn't watch the whole thing, but he was spitting a lot of valid facts and a lot of up and coming innovations that I thought were amazing that are coming not only for Tesla but also his other companies such as SpaceX and even Neuralink, which is a new one.
Oh yeah, Neuralink is crazy. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, man, definitely. That's out there for sure.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I just want to say this personally. I want to remain apolitical, but the only thing I wanted to say is that's one of the disappointing things about like the media, right? They portray a negative connotation of everything he talked about.
Definitely.
That was the one thing.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it's just unfortunate because people then just talk about, oh, yeah, he was smoking weed. But he was talking about all that stuff before, too. Amazing things.
Right. And I mean, like, that was... I don't even think I got to that part. I'm like 2 hours into the episode. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, that's fine.
An hour and a half. He hasn't even done it yet. So, like, that was literally the end of the episode. And, like, of course they made it this huge thing.
A bigger deal than it is,
maybe the CEO of a Fortune 500 company shouldn't be publicly smoking weed, but it's also 2018.
Yeah, we're coming to that time.
With CNBC only talking about cryptos and cannabis. Like, that's literally the only two things that they talk about now. So, and so what? The SEC smoked on his Sunday night. Like, I just don't see the problem.
He was even offered it. Like, I mean, if you look at it, he wasn't really like It was looked like it was his first time smoking it or whatever.
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean to get too off track, but we do have a question here from Savage LOL. He asks, will Bitcoin mining continue to affect GPU pricing? That's a really good question. Are you familiar with GPU at all?
I very little, I would say. Like I said, we kind of talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
The stream is, I actually want to start setting up my own computer, and I know that's kind of right up your alley, so I'm definitely going to be coming to you for help.
I made a video called 6 Things to Know Before Building a PC. I'll add a link to it too. A lot of people told me it was very helpful.
Definitely.
Because it's very simple, kind of dumbed down. It's 4 minutes long.
Okay.
I'll give it to you afterwards.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and can you go on a website called PCPartPicker.com?
PC Picker?
PC Part Picker.
Part Picker?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and if we click, can you just click the main logo on the top left?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and then we should click Start a System Build. Or, I'm sorry. Can we look at price trends on the right?
Price trends.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so yeah, this is the best way to check out and see if it's like video cards, the graphics cards.
Okay.
You can see the pricing.
Okay.
For if it's affecting the GPU
So I mean,
pricing.
yeah, this definitely kind of follows that same pattern. I mean, if you want to like compare these really quickly.
Yeah. Basically, what GPU is the graphics processing unit. That's a great question, by the way, Savage LOL. So what that does, it's a way to like Bitcoin it's for Bitcoin mining, right?
Okay, yeah, definitely.
And that's why it surged after like April of 2017.
Right.
And you can see that on the chart.
Yeah, I mean,
this shows the pricing on these charts. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely, that's exactly when you see it. I mean, that kind of follows the same pattern. I mean.
Yeah, it's insane.
Let's see if we can zoom in here. Yeah, I mean, that's a very similar pattern, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely see the correlation.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So.
But it looks like it's starting to come down in price.
Yeah, I mean, they are stabilizing, and I know that GPUs are actually also getting better. I know they're increasing their power. So I'm not exactly, like I said, I'm not too much into the hardware.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm sure that the correlation may stay true, but I'm sure that they'll break away just because of as the tech innovates, that the prices are going to come down, competition is going to come in and keep those prices down. Okay. Bitcoin mining is very profitable if you're doing it the right way, and if you, I mean, it was obviously a lot more profitable back in the day when not many people were doing it. Now there's a lot of big Bitcoin farms and mining pools,
and even other coins coming out too.
Right, and those are actually also other ways to be mining as well. I mean, you could be mining those as well.
Oh, for sure.
One I would like to show, I mean, just for you guys at home, if you guys wanted to start mining on your personal, you can actually use Honey Miner. This is one, you just create an account. By the click of a button, you can literally start mining with your access CPU and GPU on your computer.
Okay, and you got to create a wallet too, right? Or...
That actually, with the account, it actually creates the wallet with you, and then you would have to obviously have a Bitcoin address to be able to send that money out of, just to be able to exchange that in the actual exchange.
Wow.
But you do actually earn it into your own wallet right through Honey Miner.
That's awesome.
It's a pretty cool website.
Yeah, what's the catch here?
Not really much to catch. They use your extra space on your computer to be able to mine on with their algorithms, basically. So you're basically joining their mining pool, and they're giving you payouts on that.
Okay, so they keep like a part of it, and we get most of it, or something.
Yeah, I believe they keep a little bit. I mean, I'm not
because I'm just wondering how they make money.
How they're actually making money,
yeah,
right? I mean, of course. I'm sure they're taking part of the fees.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy to calculate your returns. So let's say, I mean, earnings depend on your power of your graphics card. New PCs can make $15 to $75 per GPU per month. So I mean, it's not very profitable just because you are only using your access space, and it is very competitive out there now. I mean, these transactions are there's so many transactions, but there's also so many people working at this because some people, that's their investment is into these mining farms.
I mean, that's totally fair. And if you have multiple PCs, that makes a lot more sense why these guys have it.
Right.
Okay, because every month if you get, let's say, $50, well, I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but I believe the way to success is having multiple sources of income.
Definitely. In
this day and age, because it's like if you get $50 there, you work part time. That's another way of money. cryptocurrency and having some in the stock market, all that stuff can really add up every month.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing about Honey Miner, like, it just makes it a little bit easier because if you are trying to set up your own mining like system, it takes a lot of work on your computer, and two, you have to know what you're doing. Honey Miner makes it just so much easier. You can just, at a couple clicks of a button, you're mining with your extra computing power.
Right.
So, I mean, like you said, that's just an extra passive income. You can let it run through the night. I don't know the wear and tear that it does cause on your hardware. That's something maybe you would be more looking into. Personally, I don't really invest in any mining. I do know it's profitable, but especially at doing it out of your own home, there's a lot more than just plugging it in and running the algorithm on your computer. You have to calculate the electricity cost, your daily profits. You know,
that's true.
There's a lot that goes into it because the electricity does add up, and that's kind of where it gets into is you need these mining pools because the shared electricity. I know moving into different states that offer low electricity rates. I can't think of the state right now, but it was a city. There's a video about it there. The city next to like a huge dam, and the electricity was basically free. So there's just all these crypto mining firms
that's awesome.
popping up. I mean, it's genius for them because...
And it helps I would say, doesn't it help out the state too?
I would definitely say taxes on the company. Because these are firms, you know. So they're paying state taxes. And also, I'm sure it's helping the community because it's bringing money into them, you know?
And I'm sure, are they hiring workers or something?
Oh, I'm sure.
At least someone's getting money.
Yeah, somebody's making money throughout the process. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah. As long as it helps the economy, too, that's all good and it's all positive, bro. And yeah, no problem, Savage LOL. I wanted to get back really quick. Can you go on PC Card Picker?
Definitely.
I just wanted to hover, if you can X out on I just wanted to scroll down a little bit just to be sure. Yeah, so it looks like all the prices are dropping. If you see that, there's a steady line
coming down.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good to hear. I know. So the popular company is called Nvidia. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Of course.
Yeah. So this is their line of. This is AMD's line, Radeon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Nvidia's used. Yeah, GeForce is Nvidia's.
Okay.
Yeah, cards, and those are used for mining.
More of the mining.
More of the mining and gaming, dude.
Gaming as well.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. I mean. That you would be surprised on how much cryptos and gaming are kind of like mashing together in the industry. I mean, there's digital assets are a huge thing. Especially, I mean, Fortnite. We can just talk about Fortnite, like the explosion. But I mean, there's a lot of things coming in video games with the cryptocurrencies and being able to exchange things, not only in game but actually like throughout game to game as well. So like game A to game B, you're gonna be able to now sell your Fortnite skin for a Call of Duty camo. You know?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So
can you get money for it too?
Yeah, I mean, like my thing is, I almost see those things as digital currencies. I mean, you can earn V-Bucks by playing the game long enough, you know, and then like personally, I bought the season pass, and just every season I play enough to earn enough coins so that I can rebuy the next season pass. So it's kind of like my little return on investment. I get to keep buying the season pass without paying for it.
Dude, that sounds kind of like Counter-Strike.
Yes. I never really played Counter-Strike. I haven't really gotten into the PC gaming. That's something I do want to get into because PC gaming is awesome.
PC
Counter-Strike,
race.
Yeah, Counter-Strike. I'm pretty sure they have exchanges for like their in-game skins and camos because they have like the knife skins, right?
Yeah, I thought they got part of it got shut down because it was like gambling or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they got in trouble because I know these kids were using it or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I know someone in the comments is talking about. Yeah, it's like CS:GO skins basically. Yeah, you can look it up. We have a few more questions here. I do want to ask. I know Caleb Ricks is asking this question. He says, would either of you be familiar with crypto trading bots, mainly Crypto Hopper? So I don't know anything about it. Do you know Crypto Hopper?
I don't know Crypto Hopper. We can look it up though.
Yeah.
I do like crypto bots. I think that they can be very profitable because, as I was saying, there's a lot of arbitrage in the crypto market. If you guys don't know what arbitrage means, you can buy and sell on different exchanges or marketplaces and make money instantly, basically. Okay. It's basically not a flaw in the system, but just price differences on different exchanges. And I mean, that happens in the real markets as well. I mean, stock market, you can do that as well. It's just there's so much trading going on. There's so much volume across all those exchanges that that's basically minuscule, you know.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's kind of gonna happen in cryptos as well as long as they develop.
Okay.
And that's kind of what bots can take advantage of. I have never used Crypto Hopper. I've actually never even used a bot trader, but I have heard they're very profitable. I would just say do your own research. Make sure what you're getting into is not a scam or a hack, because there is a lot of those out there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean that's what comes with an early space is just there's people that get into it. Yes, there's lack of regulation, of course, and these people come in and they're looking to make a quick buck instead of really learn the technology and really innovate it. So they come out and say they're a crypto expert. Send me this amount and I'll trade for you, or get into this program. It's a binary options trading strategy, and there's a lot of scams out there. So you need to really do your own research with it. But I would not be opposed to looking into crypto bots, because they can be very profitable.
Okay, for sure. Cool, man. Yeah, and Zyracy is asking, are there any good crypto miners for Mac? I know you were just looking at.
Yeah, so I mean, we did talk about Honey Miner.
Yeah.
Honestly,
wait, so that works for the Mac?
I don't know if they even have a Mac miner running yet. It says Mac coming soon right here.
Oh, I see.
So the thing is, guys, it's not going to be very profitable. I'm sorry. Like the Macs just aren't built for it. They don't have a GPU inside. It's just their board. You know, like they don't have the computing power to really make a difference.
Yeah, I guess that's with all of Apple's products. Yeah. They have the software. They have a very simple user interface and software. Yeah. So that's why they don't need any hard big processing power. So for their what do you call it? Their smartphones. So what is it? Samsung or one of the Android phones has 6 gigabytes of RAM now. Okay. And are you familiar with RAM at all?
A little bit.
Okay, so it's basically you can multitask more. Okay. With more RAM. Okay. And so this one has 3 gigs. The iPhone 10. So this has half of it.
Double the speed. Wow.
Double, yeah, pretty much. So it can handle that computing power.
Yeah, so that's the only problem is it's not very profitable. I mean, if it came down to it and you were really looking to, if you were looking to make not free money, because obviously you're paying it for electricity on your computer.
There's a give and take.
And the wear and tear on your Mac, because it would probably slow down your Mac a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean there was this one. It was a game a kind of a gaming crypto, and they had a self miner in there as well, and I started it up, and I seriously thought my Mac was going to explode. It was running so loudly, so I shut that off right away. I haven't done it since. It's just, like I said, unprofitable for me, and it kind of not a waste of time, because you are helping the network technically by providing computing power, but you're really not doing too much.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Caleb Briggs says, certainly noticed all the scams. It's basically the Wild West out here. Thanks for answering. Yeah, no problem. You answered it there.
Yeah, no problem.
By the way, if you guys want to follow him, you are planning to make a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, the YouTube channel is on the way. I'm going to be posting hopefully some how-to videos, kind of educational stuff, how to get started, guys. I want to help out the community as much as I can. We're all learning out here. And like you said, it is the Wild West, so we need a place to be able to ask questions, share experiences, and kind of just look out for each other. So that's kind of what Crypto Lookout is all about.
Oh, I like the name, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. But people can follow you on Instagram for news and updates.
Yeah, I'm all over Instagram. That's kind of like one of the most active socials that I'm on right now. So we're Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page. Something interesting is that there's a lot of actually decentralized platforms on the rise. And what these are actually doing is able to not only reward the content creator, but also reward the viewers. So one of them is actually Steemit, excuse me. And it's a social network where you're basically posting your blogs. They also have a video content and a live streaming process as well. And as you can see, I mean, there's prices right here, but that's actually, so 7 days after the post, by viewers upvoting it, by reading and liking the content, they're actually providing money to this post. And after the 7 days, 75% of that gets paid out to the creator, and 25% of that gets out to the people who actually upvoted. So I mean, some of these are actually coming out with, I mean, high amounts of payouts. So Steemit is definitely something to check out. And this is I mean, we can go here and we can check out the Steemit coin actually has a value. So that's actually where the money is coming from. I mean, in content creation. So you can actually choose to, you know, pay someone coins for what, you know, if they had a good content, you could tip them for their post or whatever. I mean, look at the price impact. I mean, it went from $1.23 to $6. I mean, most of the coins do have that pattern because they did trade similar to Bitcoin when that spike took place back in November to January.
Oh yeah.
So most of the coins did follow that pattern, just on that, like, the early explosion. That kind of goes back to, like, the supply and demand part of it. I mean, the price of Bitcoin is rising, then all these other guys that are trading against Bitcoin, they're obviously going to have to rise as well. And that's why I see, like, a lot of people say shit coins or, like, you know, like any coin other than Bitcoin. I mean, they're going to have a lot of use cases. There's a lot of different coins out there that are doing a lot of different things. And Bitcoin is the first one. And I mean, I kind of look at Bitcoin as like digital gold. It's the first one.
The king.
It's the king. And Bitcoin will always be around. There's all these coins, all the forks of Bitcoin say that they're better than Bitcoin and that they're going to overtake Bitcoin. It's not going to happen. If Bitcoin doesn't succeed, then blockchain fails. People have to understand that. Because Bitcoin's the first one. If Bitcoin can't survive, then the whole technology loses its value.
So can you go in? So is it because you have to buy the other coins using Bitcoin itself?
No, not only because I shouldn't say it's going to ruin all of cryptocurrencies, because I mean, Bitcoin is pretty much unhackable at this point because it requires way too much computing power to take over 51% of the network because it's just so distributed. If not only because that's the leader where you actually make your transactions, because you can do that with Ethereum as well. You don't have to touch Bitcoin to go into all these other altcoins. You can do that through Ethereum, but Bitcoin just like you said, it's the king. It's the first one. It needs to keep its value because it's the proof that the blockchain system works. And it's kind of, as you can see it, is that it's that gold. It's that initial value. It's that powerful piece. Like gold has its value because it's something. It's physical. It required proof of work. Actually, you needed to work to receive that gold. You needed to mine that gold. So that has that value. It
has an intrinsic value.
Exactly. It has that like blood value, or the blood and sweat value. You know?
Right. And then I see Bitcoin Cash down there. So what's the difference here? Like, is it who created Bitcoin Cash?
So Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin, and it's what they believe is going to be. They believe it's going to be the alternative to Bitcoin, and it's actually supposed to be what some feel is what Bitcoin should have been.
Like a lot cheaper.
It's cheaper and faster transactions, I believe. I mean, like I said, we didn't really finish my bag, but most of my holdings aren't the main guys like Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm, as I said, I'm very optimistic on the space. So I spent a lot of actually my time on the upcoming future of cryptos, even though we're still so early in the space. I'm a firm believer in ICOs and the newer projects that are coming to the space, and I believe that these new projects have a lot of value and a lot of things are yet to come to the space. So Bitcoin Cash, though, like I said, it's a fork off it. It's supposed to be faster, cheaper with the transaction fees. And there's an argument that, I mean, you can watch arguments on that all the time, with the Bitcoin Cash argument. That's kind of all over the place, but like I said, I'm not really too much into it.
I think it's very interesting when you talk about that. It seems like every coin has its own story.
Yeah, I mean, they really all do. I mean, if you think about it, I don't like to say that they're companies, but they're all their own system.
Yeah, they're all made by someone.
Right, and I mean, like, Ethereum for reference is like, Ethereum has their own ecosystem, right? Their new coins and new companies can build on top of Ethereum's platform to create their own coin that then has value. But it's still trading in Ethereum's like world, basically. It's still using their ecosystem, their blockchain. But these other coins are writing these in what are called smart contracts.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's like being able to do that. I mean, a lot of these other coins are actually doing that as well. So Ethereum has its own blockchain, which allows other companies. I mean, basically, I would say anything from, I don't want to say all of them, but really when you get outside of the top like 20 to 30 coins, most of them are ERC20 tokens, which are built on the Ethereum platform. One of the best ways to figure that out, to like get a little more in-depth research on these coins, like what they are, what their story is, I like Evening Star. I check this every day, along with CoinMarketCap. If I open my Mac, my first two screens are CoinMarketCap and Evening Star.
Okay.
Hitting the heat map, you get the whole general view of the market, how it's doing on that day. You can check them out. Going into the individual coins, you just click on it. It gives you a really solid summary of what the coin is, and then it gives you some details. So the consensus mechanism, they're a proof of work, similar to Bitcoin. It talks about their algorithm. It talks about their ICO. Oh, I didn't even realize this. It says their ICO prices, all their pricing, their supply. Everything is really listed on here. So it's a really good way to research these coins, especially outside the top 10.
Interesting.
Because they have it for pretty much all the coins, which is nice.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
So,
wow, dude, I gotta say, and for those joining in, if you guys want to join, there's your Coinbase referral link. It's in the description, and that gives you $10 and the user that gets it. So whoever wants to use it, they get the $10. So that's like a first free trade.
Right. So that's, like you said, it's gonna be down in the description. If you click on it, it's pretty easy to sign up, guys. It takes about, honestly, 5 to 10 minutes to put in your personal information. You do have to link, like I said, a debit card or banking account. You could use a credit card, but that's we talked about the transaction fees. That's where you're going to add a little bit on the transaction fee. Purchasing your first $100 of any of the 5 cryptos on here, you'll receive an additional $10 of Bitcoin, and in return, I'll actually receive $10 as well. So if you guys wouldn't mind purchasing your first Bitcoin with my referral link, that'd be great.
Awesome, yeah, for sure. And you also have your Instagram underneath, so if anyone wants to follow you on there.
Definitely check out the Instagram for the news updates, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. All right. Now, I have a question, and this is a pessimistic question.
All right.
So you kind of answered this question, but I wanted to know, why should I, as an investor, invest in cryptocurrency if it's so volatile right now?
Yeah, I mean, volatility is honestly, that's a good question, but why does I'll hit you with a question first. Why does volatility scare you? Like, why are you afraid of volatility? Just because of the sudden drop?
Yeah, the sudden drop, and I personally obviously don't want to lose my money. I don't think anyone does, obviously.
Of course. And the thing is, you gotta have a strong stomach. We're early. We're very early. I make the connection that this is like investing in Bitcoin. This is like investing in the internet. Like before we had the internet,
Yeah. Like the .com bubble.
Yeah, I mean, but before the .com bubble, like we're still in like infrastructure stages. I mean, these things are still being built out.
Right.
So obviously the volatility comes, and that does scare a lot of people away. My thing is, I'm not investing in short-term plays. I'm a long crypto. So I'm investing in the technology, and despite the I think the volatility is a good thing. Although you could lose 30% in a day, you can also make 100% in a day.
Yeah, that's
I mean, there's the risk and reward to it, and also it is a speculative investment right now. I'm not going to lie. You are a speculator.
Because I know one of the guys. I know a lot of people might know him, and he's not favorable. But I heard him say, I don't know if you heard a guy named Richard Spencer.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's like the leader of like the alt-right or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't follow him personally, guys, just to let you know. But I heard what he made a good point. He said that the problem is cryptocurrency is being traded as an investment right now when it's meant to be a medium of like
medium of exchange
of exchange, of currency. And I'm like, that's a fair point. But I think that if it's trading as an investment, others should it's going to be traded as an investment.
I would say the U.S. dollar is traded as an investment as well.
Yeah, true.
And it's also a medium of exchange. So I mean, it's really hard. I mean, it's not the understanding of it. I mean, like I said, the first thing I would read the Bitcoin white paper because you can get that understanding right from it. But a lot of these things that people are like, oh well, I don't get it. But you're on your computer, you're on the internet, and you're doing these things basically, but you're just not understanding it. And a lot of people, it goes back to not even really understanding cash or the U.S. dollar, and this is kind of internet money, and it's really where if I ask anybody, do you think are we done? Like, are we done innovating? Is this the furthest? Is this iPhone XS the furthest we're going, or are we going to continue to innovate?
Of course.
And we're gonna we want to go faster. We want business to go. We want everything faster. That's our thing, and that's what crypto allows. Is it allows speed, transparency, and I couldn't see technology not continuing to move forward.
Right, of course.
And that's kind of where I get that it's okay with that volatility because I'm here for the long game. So.
Okay, cool, for sure. Yeah, that's a great point. And I was gonna say, I was just trying to say, like, yeah, if it's traded as an investment, people are gonna continue to trade it as an investment. But so that's not gonna stop anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna trade it as an investment, but as the technology continues to innovate, people will also be able to use that as a means of exchange. Okay. Right now, it's really, it's definitely possible. You can sell your Bitcoin off for gift cards for Amazon, for really anything. You can get a Visa gift card for your Bitcoin, even amount. So $50 Bitcoin is $50 of that. My thing is, I'm not sure if I want to sell my Bitcoin right now. I'm using it as an investment.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to the bubble that we talked about. This bubble was like kind of the adoption, like the spread of the word. Like this. It was still so new. People, like we said, people don't really even know what Bitcoin or the blockchain really is yet. There's still more bubbles to come. One of them is definitely going to be the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and the scarcity part of it.
Yeah.
There's going to come to a time where there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and if you don't own any of that, you're out. You're out of it. So there's going to be that thing. I want to buy it and I want to hold it because I need this.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's going to create another bubble because no one's going to be selling it.
And that's going to be interesting.
Yes, but I mean these all-time highs that we've hit, they're young. Those are very young all-time highs.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
That goes into one of my other questions we'll get to in just a moment. But I also wanted to ask you, let's see if I can find it. So it just goes into, so do you believe that there will be another big bubble or spike that we'll see like we did back in 2017? And if you do, when do you think? Like, if you can give a rough estimate, when do you think that's possible? And if you'd like to show the chart.
Yeah, of course. Time frame is tough. We'll just look at Bitcoin again. Like I said, we're coming off these highs. We talked about crypto Twitter as well. I follow crypto Twitter. I'm on crypto Twitter. Follow me on crypto Twitter.
Well, what's your name?
Crypto Lookout on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of people are calling this the bottom, and they're like, "We're going to the moon. Things are turning around." You gotta think. This is still like, there's still finance behind this. There's still trading behind this. It's not just gonna, we hit the bottom. I mean, we hit the bottom, and then all of a sudden we're going back to 20,000 in a day. That's not gonna happen. This is gonna take some time.
Yeah, that's a while.
So I mean, this was before the spike. This is where we saw some consolidation, and I mean, we've been on this downtrend. I mean, you can see the arrows here. This is obviously a downtrend, and it looks like we've kind of broken out of that, right? We're in this consolidation. We've been here, and we're kind of in this descending triangle. I wish I should be on a different like coin tracker, but
yeah. Can you go to year to date? That might be a little.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. So I mean, yeah, this is just obviously consolidation.
So
with CNBC actually had a pretty good chart today with showing the actual lower highs. So we've been running up.
It's like an orange thing, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
so then we've been running up. We'd come down, and then we'll run up again to about the same point. We'll come down, not as much, and then we'll do the same thing. Not as much. So that's really an ascending triangle, looking like we're about to break out the upway.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't like to trade too much on the charts because one, everybody gets to see the charts. Everybody's seeing those charts.
Yeah.
And in cryptos, things don't happen. There are definitely market manipulations.
Okay.
They're 100%. We talked about the supply and demand. It does trade on supply and demand, but when someone dumps a huge amount of Bitcoin, that messes up that demand. That's going to cause a huge drop.
Yeah.
Same way with someone on the opposite.
Litecoin, what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a sad story, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Litecoin, I mean...
Did you hear about what happened?
No, what exactly
are you
if
you want
to?
Can you go to the chart? So
I mean, if we're talking... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so, like, with Litecoin, what happened was the creator ended up selling all of his coins.
Right.
And that's why you see that downtrend from there.
Right, I mean, they all have had that, and I do
Except
remember now what you're talking about.
Right? I thought the Bitcoin creator is still holding on to it.
Well, yeah, Satoshi's wallet still does have, and yes, you can see his address.
Yeah,
I don't know what his
ledger.
Yeah, everything's public. So if you have someone's account, you can go in and see there all the transactions that have taken place.
And here's the thing that's really like kind of complex, but I kind of understand it. It's the privacy area of it. So privacy meaning like no one knows you own the Bitcoin, but you have a public address of it, but no one knows that it's you specifically, right?
You don't. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You don't put when you're making a Bitcoin wallet, you don't insert your name.
Mm-hmm.
You enter your name on the exchanges because they have a KYC process
Mm-hmm.
because there's that extra level that they need. A lot of these exchanges are centralized exchanges, what we talk about, and that's so that they have the ability to push these transactions through. Exchanges have a ton of transactions, so they kind of need that centralization to be able to move money from one wallet to the other. When you're dealing with your Bitcoin, nobody knows whose wallet's whose. There's ways to find out, of course. Like if I sent you Bitcoin, you would know my address, right?
Right, of course.
So then you would know, okay, this long number of letters and numbers equals Brady, but the network doesn't know that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then it's also you can also create unlimited amount of Bitcoin wallets. They're free.
Yeah.
So that kind of comes into kind of like an interesting thing is Dash. So Dash was one of the first privacy coins. There are many privacy coins out there. Monero, I believe Cardano.
Cardano, okay.
And definitely Dash. And Dash is actually based in the U.S. They're in Phoenix, AZ. I want to say.
Arizona. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And they, like I said, they're a privacy coin. So I've actually been looking into Dash more because I actually want to use Dash.
Okay.
The way they have it's very similar to Bitcoin. They're similar to a fork of Bitcoin. They've taken Bitcoin's protocol and they've added an extra layer of an extra consensus mechanism. So that they not only do they have proof of work, which is transaction verified by mining, they also have proof of stake. So by staking the network, you now become a node on the network that actually is like a point in the network that transactions can be verified through. So instead of only relying on the miners of the network, you by holding a significant amount of Dash locked on the network, you act as a middleman basically.
Okay.
That holding, and the upside of doing that is you actually get paid out in the transaction fees.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you're actually earning from that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Proof of stake is a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are against it because they don't believe in that consensus mechanism provides enough security. I believe in it, that it's literally like getting paid out. You can get paid out daily dividends, in my opinion. That's what I see proof of stake as, getting paid out a dividend because or maybe not even a dividend. Dividend might be a bad word because you're really working. You're working the network. You're helping run the network by staking your coins to the network.
I see. And
you're getting paid out the transaction fees that others are paying because you're verifying their transaction.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess this kind of goes into what we're talking about right now. My next question, which is your favorite coin right now and why?
Okay, favorite coin on the market or just in general?
On the market or even in general.
Right.
We can have a few of them.
Okay, I'll say a couple, and this kind of goes back into my bag as well. For the market, we'll start off with, and then we'll talk in general because I do have some ICOs.
I know
but,
you've been talking about
yeah,
Tron
but
for a little bit.
Tron, man, I love Tron. Justin Sun is the founder, I guess CEO.
Yeah.
He is awesome. I love him.
And his mentor is
Jack Ma
yeah.
from Alibaba, who's actually, I think, leaving Alibaba.
Yeah,
which is interesting because I think he might be going into the blockchain space.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, possibly going into maybe some supply chain tracking. I think he might go into, or some e-commerce. Something that Jack Ma, he's got something up his sleeve. He's a very smart man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he created Alibaba.
Exactly.
But I think it's crazy. I really wish they used Tron in Alibaba.
I would say it's coming.
I know that was like the speculative.
Yeah, it was very speculative,
yeah.
Especially when Tron had its big spike.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype around that coming out. The
I
connection was made early.
Yeah.
About the Jack Ma and Justin Sun.
Oh, and that's why we see a second spike there.
What's that? This was actually, I want to say this was their mainnet spike. Yeah, this was, okay, so this was the announcement of their mainnet, and then this was their actual release of their mainnet. And this was actually one of my big buy points, which was, I mean, it played out, but obviously in the long term it didn't because the market didn't work out so great.
Right.
But that just shows to me that Tron is so undervalued. I mean, this thing, it started off, I mean, very, very cheap. It had this big spike up when the market spiked up as well. Then they had their mainnet. So this goes back into when we were talking about Ethereum. So they have their own ecosystem, correct? Now, Tron was an ERC20 token. So they were part of Ethereum's ecosystem. Then they, back in May, early May, they announced, they said, we're going to be leaving Ethereum, so we're going to be leaving ERC20 token process, and we're going to be making our own blockchain system. So now they have their own system. I have a tab up here. See if this loads up. So they have their own system, and now they're also implementing basically what Ethereum already has is what is it called? Basically their own ERC20. It's their virtual machine. That's what it is. So now you're able to go in and create your own coin on Tron.
Wow.
And Tron is doing a lot of things. They just had their combination with BitTorrent, which is a streaming service. So you're able to pull videos, audio, and movies, all sorts of things from BitTorrent. I don't use it. Do you use BitTorrent at all?
Is that to just buy movies?
It's not only to buy; it's a streaming service. So you're able to.
Oh, kind of like YouTube or Twitch.
Yes, but it is decentralized. I personally haven't used it too much. But you're able to like download these large files in a peer-to-peer fashion. So you're downloading bits from each user that has this. Now Tron's coming in to actually be able to reward these people that are basically, in a sense, leaving their information on the network so that all can use it. They're publicly placing their files on their computer so others can access it. And Tron's being able to now reward these people that are placing their information out there so that the people that are using BitTorrent and the content provided, they can pay those people out accordingly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's just one of the many things they're doing. I mean, like I said, their mainnet was huge, and now seeing where they were, what their price could do, and like how far the company has come, that's why I see them as so undervalued, because they're able to provide so much. The transactions are almost instantaneous, and they cost 1 Tron token. So what that means is it's literally 2 cents to send any amount of a transaction.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Another implementation they have is they partnered with Seedit Investments, and you can actually tip on Twitter. So by using, like, I can send you Tron on Twitter, and it'll create you your own Tron wallet. So then by going...
Yeah, I remember you talking about
I talked about it a little bit. So going through Seedit, typing in your Twitter handle, it creates you a Tron wallet right there, and you can access it. You can send transactions. Tron is really really working to decentralize the internet. I mean, that's their main goal. They're looking to
I mean, that's cryptocurrency in general, right?
Well, cryptocurrencies. Their main objection is to decentralize. I mean, whether that be the payment system or whatever their use case is, but Tron's working to do that. They want to be the ecosystem that everyone builds on top of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you think there's a good chance that this can rise up big time, or do you think this has the most potential out of all the other coins besides like the big four? And the big four meaning like Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Yeah. I mean, Tron is going to do well because they're actually doing something. They have a lot of real world implementations. They're really getting stuff done, and that's why I see, at least for the medium to like short to medium time frame, I see them doing well because when the market starts to turn, these people are going to be coming in. And they're going to be finding which ones actually work out. So now there's other companies that had their own mainnet launches as well. EOS is on its own mainnet. Neo, they're on their mainnets as well. So the thing is, I don't think that it's going to just be one of these that survive. I think that multiple ecosystems can survive because they all have multiple use cases. Like, not only, I mean, you can have multiple companies that do the same thing. So that's kind of why, like, the competition, there's going to be competition, and I don't think they're going to be pulling away from too much, though, even though these are global markets.
Okay, that's
so maybe in the short term, or in the long term, maybe one will, obviously one will see greater effects, and one will be higher than most of them. I still think that in the early expansions that all of them are going to be used and kind of like tested to see which one will be able to do that. As of right now, I don't want to say Tron's winning, but Tron's definitely doing a lot. Cool. I know Tron and EOS, they had their mainnets right around the same time, and EOS had a lot of backlash with their mainnet. They had a lot of troubles. Their testnet, I don't know if their testnet went great, and then they had their mainnet and it didn't go great. Tron's mainnet went pretty well. I downloaded my wallet that day, and I transferred my coins that day. Oh, actually, I didn't. I made my wallet, but Binance was pretty slow with the transaction because the way it worked, you had to hold your ERC20 tokens on an exchange and wait for that exchange to then accept the new mainnet. And Binance actually took one of, not the longest, but it was a little bit slower. But yeah, that was just part of it. Now all of my funds are actually on Tron's network, and they actually have something similar to Dash. Well, not only Dash, but other cryptos, is the proof of staking. But their proof of staking is actually really interesting. You can vote. You use that for voting power, and you're voting for these super representatives. So that's probably time for another video. I would say is going into the whole super representative thing.
I guess you can make that on your
that's gonna definitely be one on my own YouTube.
Awesome.
You guys can definitely tune in for that.
Now I have a personal question. I know Cal Briggs has a question here, but before that I wanted to get back into Tron for a moment.
Okay.
Do you think one thing that really hurt Tron was China banning cryptocurrency? They were talking about banning it, right?
Yeah, so I mean, they're talking about banning it, but it's really hard to. I mean, they have. I'm not really sure what their whole internet controlling and how they can IP block and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're spying. So them blocking it completely, it's very hard to do because it's decentralized. They can't shut it down. That's the thing. Bitcoin can't be shut down. These cryptos can't really be shut down. I obviously, with Justin Sun being from China, that news that came out with China trying to ban cryptos, I'm sure that didn't help. Obviously these people probably, didn't want to be holding a cryptocurrency when the government's saying that. But I also feel that the Chinese government is also working at their own cryptos, as also many other countries are doing, is starting to take this technology serious. I know Venezuela is actually the first. This came out almost a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. Venezuela is actually making their own coin, and they're actually going to be going all crypto. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna have to see how that one plays out. But
and I do want to talk about that with you. I do have a question for that myself. Before that, we can't forget Cal Briggs here.
Yeah.
He said you mentioned trading for the long run, but what's your opinion on day trading?
Okay. I mean, what was his name? Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb.
Caleb. Great question. I don't personally day trade because I'm still researching and going deeper into the technology.
Like you said, we're all learning this.
Yeah, it's still a learning process.
Because no one's an expert, would you say?
No one's an expert.
Except for Satoshi.
Yes, Satoshi. There are some people that have been in the space for a very long time, people that helped Satoshi, that had contact with Satoshi. I would consider them experts. But it's so young and it's still innovating, so there's new stuff to be learned every day. Day trading can be very profitable, and this kind of goes back to the trading bots. You could use a trading bot. You could be sitting there and making trades. If you've been a stock trader and you want to get into trading cryptos and day trading cryptos, very possible. But this also goes to the volatility. You could get hurt with a day trade, and your swing trade could have actually played out better. And that's kind of the way I see it. Is I'm not too worried about short-term gains because of my long-term vision.
Okay. That's fair. That's totally fair to say. Yeah.
But yes, if you have the time of day and that's something you're passionate about, is really staring at the charts, getting into it, I would say definitely practice. There are a couple of them coming now that you can actually practice with not virtual money, but play money basically. They have that on TD Ameritrade basically you can do it with the stock market. There's a couple of them coming out. I'm not sure. Just Google like paper money, crypto trading. I'm sure you can practice a little bit before you actually get into it.
It's interesting how many people are implementing this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming all over the place with even the big guys coming into this space too. I mean,
is JP Morgan doing something?
JP Morgan's definitely talking about it. I mean, they came out in the middle of summer and said this Bitcoin's a hoax. We don't want anything to do with it. We suggest not even doing anything with it.
And
then all of a sudden,
or something.
Yeah, Diamond. What's his name?
We can look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know he was very pessimistic.
He was. And then all of a sudden they were like working with it.
Yeah.
And it was like very, very weird. Jamie Dimon. So I knew it was Diamond. It was very weird. And then also Goldman Sachs is getting into the space. Yale University just
that's recent news.
That was 2 or 3 days, maybe even so it was very recent. It might have been yesterday actually, and they came out and said, we're going to start. They're moving some of their funds from their mutual fund into the crypto space. So that's huge. That seeing that, especially their portfolio, which has been performing great year over year. To see them, some of the guys that really know the space, someone that's followed, move into it, it's like, man, it's kind of just the domino effect, and we're kind of just waiting for it.
Yeah.
I'd say with the institutional money.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. It is kind of a domino effect, but like in the sense that it's supposed to rise even higher. But I think you mentioned something a while ago saying that since there's like thousands of them, right?
Yes, coins.
Yeah, thousands of coins. A lot of them are going to die out, and we're only going to see a few of them live and move on, right? And move forward.
I think many will succeed. I think many will. The thing was, why are all these coins being created back in 2017? That's when the explosion was happening. It was a lot of these ICOs, and that's kind of where like the bad rep of the ICOs came in. Is all these coins are being created, but this is like a whole new world. Like, in my opinion, even the stocks are going to become tokenized, and these securities are going to be exchanged as tokens because it's faster, it's less expensive, and it's global. So now I can invest in a company from a third world country peer-to-peerly, like with no middleman taking a huge cut if they want to invest in the up-and-coming markets,
Right.
Especially in like the third world countries that have massive potential, especially with new technologies coming into the space. I mean, there's even like not Kanye West. I'm sorry.
Kanye West.
I'm busting on his name right now, but Akon. He's making his own cryptocurrency, and he's going to Africa with it. He's actually making a whole, basically a city for this cryptocurrency. And it's going to be using renewable energy. It's going to be using this currency as their main form of transaction. So I mean, if you think back to the beginning of money, it all started with as a barter system, you know, and then we kind of just moved from there. We used gold, then we used a piece of paper that was backed by gold, and then all of a sudden we're using a piece of paper backed by nothing, you know. And
that's true. The Federal Reserve, I guess, if you consider that.
Yeah, of course. And then the Federal Reserve can also pump money into the system when things go bad. And you kind of mentioned that as a positive, but I see that as a negative because they're able to bail out people that are doing fraudulent things and things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Are you talking about like kind of like white collar crime or something?
I mean, you could definitely refer that to that. I mean,
I just don't remember the lack of the better word for it, but I think that's what we're getting at.
I mean, right? Yeah, we're definitely talking about the crisis of 2008. I mean,
yeah,
there was a lot of fraudulent stuff happening, and like putting out mortgages that to one to people that couldn't afford it, and then selling it off as a AAA mortgage to big investors that didn't, you know, that were just getting into, and they're bundling all these up, and you know, it was just a mess, and I feel like that could be happening again in our markets. We are on a 10-year rise, and don't get me wrong, things could be great, but as interest rates keep rising, I get nervous for the markets.
Oh, same here. I remember reading about or learning about how the Federal Reserve messed up back in the stock market crash around 2008, where they raised interest rates. I think it was before the market crash or after the market crash.
Well, it was during, basically.
Yeah, or during it, yeah. And then they had to retract from it because, you know, the market was going downhill.
Well,
so
exactly,
the Federal Reserve can't, they're not really good at looking at futures or forecasting, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, they were doing it, I feel like, not only out of their own personal greed, but just not thinking about what they were really doing in the macro sense of it. You know, like they were really thinking micro, and then it was okay. Give me this, and then I'm selling it off. As long as I make my money, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can definitely relate to that, similar to the Bitcoin bubble that we saw in 2017. Mm-hmm. People were just moving it quickly, and we've seen the monster pull back from it. But that expansion now is this many more people getting into the space, learning the technology, getting ready for the next wave.
Okay, I see. That makes perfect sense. I want to get into my next question here because I don't want to take too much time because I think we've been streaming for...
Yeah, we're going pretty long here.
Yeah, it's been 81 minutes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we're going to keep it max 2 hours for now.
No worries, it looks like we'll have to... I mean, we've had a really good talk so far, I think.
Yeah,
I mean...
Definitely.
We've had some good questions from the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, maybe we'll have to jump on a second one, maybe make this a routine or something. I mean, maybe next time I'll have to host you and ask you some personal questions.
Oh, that would be great, yeah. I want to give my personal opinion on Bitcoin probably in the end. If I remember, I lost my train of thought about what I was going to say, but if I remember at the end, I'll tell you.
Definitely.
So now my next question is, there's a country that's looking into using cryptocurrency as their currency. Venezuela was one of them we talked about, or something along the lines. Now, someone told me the uncertainty of crypto is that there's a limit to how much is produced, is because when it comes to inflation, we're able to print out more money and whatever to try to keep it balanced. So how would this work if a country adapted one currency from crypto? Because we can't print out more coins, right?
Right. There's no way to make new Bitcoin, right? It's set. It's locked into the Genesis block.
Do you see a problem in that?
No, I actually like that, to be honest. I don't like that the economy can get completely fluctuated by the voice of few. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. I think that that's a lot of power. And I think Bitcoin gives the power back to the people. There's only a certain amount, so it really depends on the demand. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the thing behind it, is it's kind of taking this power away from these big guys. There is the problem that you're kind of hitting, though, is how do we expand from that? There's what's the that's the reason why we need money. That's why we need the slight inflation over the years, because that's what provides us with growth. Mm-hmm. You know,
I'm also saying that because a professor, I'm not sure if you know the new professor for economics.
Yes. Yeah,
I was talking to her about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and she said the reason why she doesn't believe in it is because you can't get more coins because there's a limit.
Can you get more gold?
Oh, that's true.
Can't get more gold.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
You can print more dollars that mean nothing, besides that the SEC says they're worth something, but the more you print money, the more everything in the economy rises. The price of a cheeseburger, you're even seeing this at McDonald's now.
Yeah.
I mean, this could get into something else. McDonald's they're changing their marketing scheme or whatever. They're trying to market as a little bit healthier. But everything, the price of milk, the price of eggs, everything rises when more money is placed in the economy. So it kind of like the way that I would say Satoshi has been like trying to slow the inflation curve is the amount of Bitcoin that is released. So I want to say, I could be messing this up, but every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that is, maybe it's every year, the amount of Bitcoin that is released is cut in half. And these new Bitcoins are created by mining. We talked about that a little bit. Right. So when you verify a block, a new coin is created and that's distributed to the miners, or to that miner that solved that block. But that's slowing at an exponential rate. So it's eventually in 2114, I want to say, there's a year that they calculated that the last Bitcoin will ever be created. The only way to earn money by mining is by receiving the transaction fees. So at that point, they're kind of projecting that the hope is that Bitcoin is so well known that supply and demand will be able to keep the price at a stable rate. Yes. Okay. And that we don't need the inflation. We don't need more money to continue the growth of the economy.
Okay. So if we wanted to look at a currency that, like, let's say in a hypothetical sense, if we're looking at the chart there, which currency do you think would work best for a country with like 100 million people? I know Bitcoin wouldn't be one of them because 20 million people versus 100 million people.
And you don't have to use full coins, mind you that.
Oh,
a Bitcoin can be broken into a millionth of a coin, so Satoshi. So now, what's the value of one Satoshi? Obviously it's pretty much nothing, but in the future we could be trading in Satoshis. So that kind of goes in. Right now, you wouldn't send someone one Satoshi because it would cost you way more money in transaction fees. But in the future, when we have Lightning Network, we have all these people on it.
And like
maybe and with Robinhood, exactly. Maybe with one Satoshi is $1. Maybe that's how it comes out to. As of right now, it's hard to say like what a country would use, and this kind of gets back to the whole like everybody tokenizing. I could see not only would that like a whole country have their own coin, or even just being backed by Bitcoin or a bigger coin, they can have other coins to actually provide their transactions, to provide their supply chain tracking, to provide their voting system. They're going to have different coins for different use cases. The thing is, it's these transactions eventually will become so seamless that it'll just be known. It'll be so easy. So going from coin to coin won't be a problem.
Wow, it's definitely something.
So yeah, it'll be a mixture of multiple coins. I don't think it's just using one coin.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. If we can go back to Dogecoin for a second.
Yeah.
I know that's a popular coin that's used with like YouTubers, I want to say. Yeah, it's number 20. So just want to see the chart there.
So you're saying this is used by a lot of YouTubers?
I thought like to donate, I've seen like a handful of people.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and that is because it's cheaper. It's like same with like Digibyte. They're just a lot cheaper, so you can send.
Because there's more produced though.
Right, too, and so the circulating supply, and that kind of explains why the price is so low. But you can like explain that as for microtransactions. Like on YouTube, you don't want to send someone Bitcoin. One, it's a little bit slower. It's a lot more value. You don't want to be getting rid of your Bitcoin. You don't mind. $100 can buy you a crap ton of Dogecoin, and then you can be giving multiple tips for a lower amount. It's not so much like on you, I would say, but you're still being able to show that gratitude to your YouTube people. And I would say, I think that setting up a crypto tipping mechanism is great. You should be able to tip your content creators because they are putting in their time and effort, and this is. I know this is pretty much a job for you, I would say.
Yeah, it's a part-time job.
Part-time job for sure, man. Yeah.
Definitely. But I personally don't take like donations.
Okay.
Because you've heard of Patreon, right?
I'm not sure actually.
Patreon? Okay, it's like a very popular use thing.
Okay.
That's what YouTubers use. The reason why I don't accept that stuff is because I know that someone else can do this job that I'm doing and probably do it better too.
Fair enough.
So yeah, so I appreciate anyone that joins in. I just give my 2 cents on my knowledge of like technology products based on the stuff I've used, but I think that's beside the point. Yeah, I just think like with these coins, they create their own culture in a sense, their own area.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's definitely interesting. I personally like Tron with what you're saying too. Now I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on XRP Ripple? That's the only one that's centralized, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, a lot of coins can have arguments if they're actually centralized currently.
Can we see the year to date?
The whole goal obviously is, I mean, wow, they just did recently have a nice spike up.
Yeah.
Actually, like 100% spike up. Actually.
100%.
Yeah, this was actually recent. I mean,
wow.
This was in the last month.
What happened
yeah,
here?
I mean, honestly, I'm not too sure. There was
pump and dumps is what I'm thinking of.
Basically, in my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of Ripple. This is one that I could see though having some big impact because I believe that when bankers come in, they're gonna gravitate towards XRP because that's kind of the same system that they're used to, and that's kind of XRP takes away the point of blockchain. It takes away the decentralization
because it is centralized.
Yeah, and there is a lot of talk that they're selling off enough of their shares to enough of their holdings that they're not centralized anymore. It's just I don't know. Something about them. I haven't been a fan. If anything, I would suggest going into Stellar. It's created by the exact same person. Topsic coin. This is a very bright possibility to being the banking coin of cryptocurrencies.
And why is this over?
Transactions. That's kind of like their base. They're like that's what they want to be is the bank of cryptos. And that kind of gets into the thing. All these cryptos have different uses. Some of them want to be a bank. Some of them want to be a privacy coin. Some of them want to be a utility to a company. You know, they have different uses, and that's where it gets into the ability to have so many different coins. So Stellar was actually created by the same person. Forgot his name. Jed McCaleb, I want to say. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think he was working with Ripple, and then there was their partners had a conflict, and they ended up splitting off, and he ended up going and creating Stellar.
Okay.
So if anything, I would probably go into Stellar. Remind you, this is not any financial advice. I would say do your own research before you're going into any of these companies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's something you always have to emphasize on.
Yeah,
we're not financial
advisors.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really trust anybody online with financial advice. I mean, you can use it for to get knowledge on some stuff, but you really got to do your own research when it comes down to investing and putting your money into places. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like Ripple just because of that. Even though I've seen the gains, I think that will as the technology innovates, will gravitate towards more of a decentralized platform.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say one thing is I think Ripple did a good job on is the advertising or the marketing of it because so many people know about it. Heck, it's number 3 here.
Yeah, I mean,
and look at the circulating supply.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. There's so much out there.
Billion?
And I mean Ashton Kutcher went on to Ellen and actually donated $2 or $3 million to her and her charity.
Oh, okay. For Ripple.
Let's actually look that up.
Wow.
So Ripple donation.
Check out the comments.
I think it was
here.
Ellen. And so it was $4 million actually. Wow. Yeah. To her charity. I forgot what her charity does. It's something in Africa.
$4 million. That's great.
And he donated $4 million, and he did it with Ripple, on the video.
So he owned Ripple himself.
So yeah, he was actually I don't know if he owns or if he's working. I mean, Ashton Kutcher is an entrepreneur, so he's in the space and he's big into tech.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure you watch Shark Tank. Shark Tank's a great show.
Of course.
All those tech guys.
I like Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, he has his own crypto.
Really?
Yes, It's a gaming one.
For Twitch?
Not for Twitch. It's a. I forgot to
Mark Cuban crypto. Yeah, no, it's all good. What's going on, Abdullah?
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the comments, so those are just side comments I'm saying. But yeah, go on.
So yeah, he has. He has his own, and I'm pretty sure it's towards I'm sure. What?
Yeah. By the way, we're going to be going for about 5 or 15 minutes. 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes at most, depending on how many questions we get, or if any. I still have like maybe 2 more I want to ask. And if you guys want to chip in for any questions, Crypto Lookout's here to answer. Can I say your?
Yeah, of course. Crypto Lookout.
Crypto Lookout is here to answer your questions.
Oh yeah, my name's Brady. If you guys didn't know.
Brady from Crypto Lookout.
Yeah.
No so Brady's here to answer your questions. I'm personally not. I'm just like speculating on this stuff. So
I don't know what it is, but
I
don't know what it was. But he does have his own crypto. I wasn't seeing it, but it's something with the gaming space.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys, they understand. They're getting into it. I would say now.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I personally, I'll say it at the end. But I wanted to ask you, where do you get your news for cryptocurrency? Can you show us the website?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I said, I mean, I use CoinMarketCap, and I check Evening Star. Those are like just to get the market updates.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto Coin News is great. I also do have a couple apps that I'm going to be sharing on my page.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of my favorites is this new app called Terminal. It actually has a wallet inside. There's constant news updates. There's even a game where you can play guess Bitcoin's price, and then the closest 50% gets get paid out in their own coin called Terminal.
Yeah.
It's Berm tokens, and so that's one that I actually use for my news updates. CCN is great for just like getting the latest. Really, like I said, I'm also always on crypto Twitter and Instagram, and that following those accounts that are in the space provides the news for you, and then from there you can get your links. I go there. I mean, I click on a link, I read through an article, and from there I kind of just go into the Google searching and figuring out more about it. But you can get live news. Another one is Crypto Panic. That one's got like solid, constantly updating. So this is a good platform as well.
Okay.
So yeah, those are just a couple of them. Like I said, you can just click on it, and then you can get this is just a random article.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's tons of bloggers, tons of influencers, a lot of people out there in the space. It's like I said, it's still early in the growth. So. Right,
of course, and of course we can follow you on Instagram.
Definitely check out Crypto Lookout for your latest news updates, of course.
Oh, for sure, definitely. So yeah, I mean, you can get the news from all these websites you showed, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, following you, we can get more news.
Definitely.
And you're also going to start your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll be on YouTube. Like I said, how-to videos, news updates, pretty much anything in the space.
Okay, for sure, awesome. That's interesting to hear. Now, I was going to say it's going to be interesting when a country owns or creates their own crypto. How do you see that affecting the market in general? Do you see it affecting other currencies?
As in like crypto, or like as in like other fiat currencies, like the U.S. dollar and other actual dollars that are being traded out there?
No, the crypto.
The crypto market.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would say it would add, because those are going to be paired with Bitcoin and Ethereum, so they'll have those pairings. I honestly don't know how that one would play out too much. It'll be interesting to see when the money from Venezuela, because like I said, they did create their own coin. It's called the petrodollar, I believe, and it's actually backed by crude oil, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure on that.
But that's pretty scarce, right? Crude oil.
You would say crude oil is scarce, exactly, and so that having that as that same thing as gold, having that ability to have something, I guess, backing it, and I think they have that amount of crude oil in reserve to be set.
But it's perishable though. That's the difference, right? Because gold can be reused.
Right, fair enough. But that's why I'm saying that I think it's in their reserve,
okay,
so that they're holding this crude oil. So as crude oil's prices fluctuates, so would their coins. I would, from my understanding, it's going to be like a peg. So it's going to
Yeah,
be pegged
okay.
to the crude oil price.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I also heard some news about Iran using cryptocurrency. If you'd like to search it up, Iran cryptocurrency.
Okay.
It's because of the sanctions that were being put on the country. So I heard their coin crashed or something. And yeah, they recognize cryptocurrency. Iran officially recognizes it. So I can't remember what the news is. If you like to click on it, we can skim through it together.
Yeah, I mean, they just said, I know the one just said that they were going to actually be launching their own coin.
Yeah.
So that was talking about mining. Let's go to this one.
Oh, mining, okay.
In order to bust US. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
I
interesting.
actually haven't seen too much about this.
Would you get into this kind of stuff if like countries create their own? Would you put your?
Personally, I would have to look into it and like kind of see like what I mean. That would be huge because they're breaking off of the backing of the USD. And the way that I see that is, eventually there's going to be a flippery. So there's going to be a point where cryptocurrencies, you're using cryptos more than you're using the USD, and there's going to be that fluctuation where instead of people wanting to go back to the US, because I feel like that's how most traders are right now. The reason why they're making these trades are to make more US dollar. The way that I see my trades are, I'm looking to make more Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Interesting.
I want to be holding more Bitcoin at the end of the day.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And on Coinbase, do you use Bitcoin? Do you buy some of Bitcoin and then to get other currencies, or is it just those 5?
So yeah, my main transaction is, like I said, I would usually go actually to USD on Coinbase, because then those funds are actually instantly available. Then I would usually, for the most part, I do buy Ethereum. It's a little bit faster to send and a little bit cheaper actually to send your Ethereum to your Binance. And then from Binance is where you can make the exchange to all the other altcoins such as Tron and thousands of other things.
Oh, wow.
One other thing I want to bring up is, besides we did talk about Binance being an exchange where you can buy all sorts of other coins. These are the pairings right here. These are all the pairings that none of these are really found on Coinbase. They're only the top 5. Yeah. So the ability to have that is very powerful. I like this new and upcoming company called Beaksy. They are an all-inclusive exchange. So basically, I know we talked about how you don't want to really store your coins on the exchange. Something Beaksy does, which is awesome, is they implement a dual wallet process. So they have your transactions go to your hot wallet, and then from there, 97% of the funds go into your cold wallet. And your cold wallet is not controlled by Beaksy. They only have the KYC for your hot wallet. So this like provides you being like, it allows you to store your coins on the exchange where you can constantly quickly and constantly make transactions, but you're also not holding them directly on the exchange where they can be affected.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then another thing, they have they're gonna have all the same transactions as Binance. That they actually have a lot more of the trading pairs. I'm sorry, not trading pairs, but trading options. So setting stop losses, limit orders, things like that. A lot of crypto companies don't have that. So that's definitely going to be powerful. This is one of the coins I actually invested in very early. I got into their ICO, so that means the initial coin offering. So they're still in very early process, and I believe the referral system. I can give you that link. You can post it below too as well. The referral system is actually allows you for 3 months of free trading, and then after that, they offer a cool coin staking that talks about right here. Where you by holding their coin, you actually get 50% off of your trading fees. Okay. Yeah, so like it gives you that incentive, and then also like similarly, Binance they have the similar coin. They ICO'd at around 5 cents, and they're trading at around $10 now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like some of these early adopters and early getting into these projects early, if you can find a good one, is definitely pays off.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah, man. So any more questions? Do we get any more from the fans out there?
Yeah. If you guys have any more questions, we're about to end the stream, so we're still willing to answer. I don't see any questions here, but I do appreciate everyone joining and saying hi and stopping by. We seem to have a consistency of around 6 to 8 people joining in. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's cool. You mind if we switch for a
Yeah,
second?
no, definitely. Let's switch up.
I want to just go ahead
Yeah.
and try to look something up really
Yeah,
quickly.
thanks
That I
again
found
for
interesting.
having me.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that was a great talk, man.
Oh,
That
for
was
sure.
awesome.
No, it's not over.
Oh, we're not done?
Oh, we're not
okay.
done. Yeah, I wanted,
that's all right.
I
Let's
wanted to
continue.
show you real quick
Show
about
me.
something.
Let's see it. I thought we were done.
Oh yeah.
No,
so-
I'm always open to keep talking. Let's
Oh,
go.
of course. So if we look at this here that I saw, so if we look at the U.S. dollar to Indian rupees,
Okay.
look at this how it jumped up in the last year. So if you were to put $1 US, it was valued at 64 rupees, and now today it's valued at 73 rupees. It was like 74, so it's just looking kind of volatile, like how
Right.
the USD dollar is so like. I mean, it's strong, which is a good thing for
Wouldn't
us
you
here.
say is that the rupee increasing or is that the dollar?
The dollar's increasing.
The dollar's increasing.
The rupee's losing its value.
Right.
So I mean, especially in the 5-year market's held pretty steady around 60,
Okay.
but then it went up to
So now
70.
it's just seeing this massive increase. Okay.
Yeah, one of the reasons is because I guess the trade war affected some stuff, and Turkey's market kind of crashed. Their Turkish lira or something. Let's see, Turkish lira to US. I should have done it the other way around. Hold on. USD to. So this is one reason why I like cryptocurrency is that the market can't be manipulated or controlled in a sense, right? Because like this can't happen with other coins.
What I mean, the thing is, I would actually argue against that. I would say that the cryptocurrencies can be manipulated.
Mm-hmm. Like Ripple, for instance.
Well, Ripple, I would say Ripple can be tampered with. The data can be tampered with. That's something that Bitcoin wouldn't be able to do. But it would still be off of the supply and demand. But if a whale with tons and tons of Bitcoin were to just sell at one time, it could definitely cause a crash, and that in my opinion that is market manipulation, and it is out there. But I feel like I also feel that there are sharks out there that are positively I wouldn't say manipulating, but like kind of market makers and market appreciators. So keeping the prices stable enough that if someone were to make a huge sell-off, that there would be others in there to bring the price back to a sustainable point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So in a sense, it is all like control, but it goes back to like supply.
Definitely goes back to the supply and demand, of course.
Okay, but it's like it's more like, for lack of a better word, kind of like solely based on supply and demand. Because the stock market they can have corrections, it can be fixed in a way, based on news.
Right. I mean, crypto markets do move on news as well. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
At the end of the day, it's off of what is someone willing to pay for it. What is it being bought at that second? Yeah,
and if people were willing to pay about 19,000 for one coin, then I guess it is valued at something very, very special.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I would at that time, it probably wasn't the smartest thing, but people saw it, and people probably didn't see it at that time as future innovation, future technology. They were seeing it as, I'm gonna make 100x my money because this thing is just going forever,
Yeah, right.
But like I said, that just brought a whole new section of people into the space, and knowing these people, as this adoption continues to spread to the new layers of, from old to young, people are going to be adopting this, and it's going to really be exploding.
Okay. Oh, one question about Coinbase I forgot to ask you. What's the age restriction? So do you have to be 13 or older or 18 or older?
I want to say 18.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% though.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to go into support, but yeah, there's no worries. Oh, and they're hiring too. That's funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think they're out of San Francisco. I want to say.
Oh, dude, yeah, all these big companies are from San Francisco. It's crazy.
Silicon,
Yeah, and this is a pretty nice website you showed
I
us.
really like Evening Star, and that for getting started, that's gonna be one of my first videos. Is like some of the websites to use. Going through this and just reading the descriptions of all the different coins can really give you some background knowledge.
Yeah.
Kind of like what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah, and I also like how like everything's kind of together
Yeah.
all in one place
Yeah,
versus
definitely.
like
You can see how the total market's doing.
yeah versus like this one. I do like CoinMarketCap because it does show the charts, but it also yeah it shows the price graphs, but it's like not condensed together. It's
Right.
like you got to go
And
down.
I
the row.
like using CoinMarketCap like to do like individual research. So like you can go into you search up a coin, you find it, you get everything right. So if you click on one of the coins, go ahead.
We'll click Ethereum.
Yeah, from on that left side right there, you could see their websites, announcements.
Right.
Everything is right there. So from there, you click through and you can really get a good like you can really get some in-depth research and valid sources from the website, and that's what I like to do. That's why I use kind of Evening Star and CoinMarketCap together.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, okay, so at the end of this all, I was coming in pretty bearish about cryptocurrency. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm still bearish, but I understand more now about what it is, and I definitely see value. I definitely see value there.
Right.
I'm just waiting for what's going to be the push to bring this back upwards. So if we look at Bitcoin, which is like, would you say is it the heart of Bitcoin? Would you say or
the heart of crypto?
Heart of crypto.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like we talked about. It's the first one. It's the daddy.
First one, yeah.
You know.
So, yeah.
I mean, till like 2 years ago, people. I mean, actually, it's still people say, oh, that crypto stuff, that Bitcoin. They just think that all cryptos is Bitcoin, and they also think that blockchain is Bitcoin, but blockchain is much more than that. You know,
it's a public ledger, right?
Yes, blockchain is the public ledger that's distributed. It's peer to peer. That's the value in cryptos is the technology.
Okay.
Being able to verify these transactions.
I see. Okay. So going back to it real quick, I was just gonna say like the reason why I'm still bearish is looking at this chart, right? It's just been going from year to date. It's from like 10,000, and it's just going down. But it looks like to me, based on this chart, is that it's steadying out somewhere here.
Right, because we are seeing consolidation.
Yeah.
My thing is, in my opinion, you're just looking at a very small time frame. It's only been out for 9 years, and you're looking at a YTD.
That's true.
If you look at the gains over year, Bitcoin is up, thousands of percents in probably 3 or 4 of the years, in the hundreds of percents in 3 or 4 of the years. It's only had one down year.
Which year was that? 2014?
I believe 2014, correct.
Okay. Let's take a look at that.
So,
in 2012, I think there was one too.
2012 was a pullback, but I think it did still end up positive on the year. So the thing is, it's growing. We've gone from a couple of cents to $20,000.
Yeah.
We're going to see monster pullbacks, and that's where it gets into the volatility.
Yeah.
My thing is, and yes, it's a speculative investment, but my thing is, you're also very early, very, very early in this technology. And what's going to push these prices back up is more adoption, more money coming into the space, and more people actually using it. And real world use cases coming. Like the ability to spend Bitcoin at Starbucks is coming.
Really? You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Starbucks came out with that. That's news that Starbucks came out with.
Let's look at that.
Yeah,
real quick.
Go ahead and look it up. Starbucks cryptocurrency.
Starbucks.
They are looking to be one of the early adopters and actually in store receiving it for point of sale.
That's very interesting. That's crazy.
I mean, and you might say, oh, like, do I really need that? No, you really don't. U.S. The thing is, it's hard for us to really see it because we have a great banking. Although I hate to say it, we have a good banking system because they make it where we can buy anything in the country with a piece of paper. You know, they made it work, and now most people don't use paper; they use a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
So then, even now we're using our cell phones. You know, Apple Pay, Tap to Pay, all types of stuff. We don't need cash. But do we need Bitcoin or do we need those banks still? And that's where the difference comes.
Yeah,
I don't think we need the banks in the middle.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about, like, by the bank, are you talking about, like, the central banking system itself, the Federal Reserve, who raise interest rates? Or?
Yes. And breaking it down to JP Morgan's and even, like, the point of sale, even the business to customer service, because... they no matter what, they're taking money from transactions.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but all they're doing is their computer system is telling them that this person owes this much. You know, they have public ledgers they have ledgers as well, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but those are private and centralized. That leads a huge security risk,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of money that goes into. You know,
Yeah.
these companies are spending billions on security preventions.
Oh
you know?
yeah, data and everything.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
this is just a collection of data. That's all.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, going back to what you were saying, like with Apple Pay, with debit cards and credit cards.
Yeah.
Those were wants. They created a want and turned it into a need. So I think this is the next level of what cryptocurrency is, making this that's a want into a need.
Okay, definitely, definitely.
So I definitely think this can. I personally think in the
But-
coming decades, it's definitely going to be implemented.
Right, but the thing is, the bankers don't want us to go there because then their business is screwed. There's no need for them. They're gonna end up not wanting this.
Okay, so you think there's going to be regulation against it?
I don't know about against it because it's hard to. I don't know. The SEC has been delaying the regulations for way too long now.
Oh yeah.
And it's because they say they continue want to understand it, but they have these people explaining it to them day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
The Winklevoss twins, these people that want to get these ETFs passed so that we can bring in this this adoption. We can start letting people that invest in their 401ks to be putting money into digital assets.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the SEC might be delaying it because they don't want this. The banks don't want this. The Fed does not want this.
Yeah, that kind of goes into, like, in a sense, maybe like lobbyists and everything. That's like a whole conspiracy in and of itself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We're not going to get into that, obviously.
Course,
yeah. But yeah, that's very interesting. You know. Yeah, I guess banks don't want that, but I think it's bound to happen still.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's coming. I think because people are going to actually realize it themselves.
Yeah. So who's going to be the big fighters for this if the SEC says no, we're not going to allow this to happen, and they actually pass laws, like in a hypothetical sense, like laws are going to be passed that no company can use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as a form.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because the companies that do currently do it, they're going to be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. But they really can.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the government says you can't, but physically you can. You can still accept it on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
They can't really stop it, but they can charge you with it in the U.S. So I might have to leave or something. I don't know.
No, I'm saying like based on what you're saying, it's possible that individuals can keep trading it, but firms like companies won't be able to use this. If they actually want to block it, they can do it that way.
Right, but like at the end of the day, the companies still could. They could still accept Bitcoin, but like legally from the U.S., I guess they would be breaking the law, so they might take things out of the U.S. And I think economically that'd be bad for the U.S. if they did that.
Yeah,
because you're preventing innovation, and I feel like
true.
And I feel like a lot of the SEC they're realizing that, but they don't want to lose their power.
So you think that the SEC loses a lot of power with cryptocurrency?
Of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Looking into the charts, is this what you were kind of talking about? There are these dips and then regains. It looks like it's slowly coming back up.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a 1 month.
Yeah, we're looking at a 1 month chart. If you want to look at 7 days, we can.
So I mean.
So there's that dip, and now it's come back. But again, everything looks much more stable if we're looking at the
we're in consolidation right here. I mean, we've come off these monster dips that had a lot of bull traps, which are like charts are looking good. You're looking like you're gonna break out, and they tank. They actually end up trading the reverse, and you end up losing money. Shorts win.
Yeah, right.
We're in consolidation. I could see us sitting here, but if you zoom out of this chart, it does look like
this.
We're in a cup and handle. Like, I mean, we could be at the bottom of the starting of a cup. If that makes sense. I mean, you can tell we've hit this bottom a few times here. Don't get me wrong, we could definitely still break below. But I just feel like it's hard for us to, like, from the gains that we've had year over year, that like it's still not over the 7 year. You're not going to be giving that back, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Of course. Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. I'm just saying, if a firm was to use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I feel like that's the breaking point in a sense to me. In my eyes, that's how I see it.
To be able to, because are you saying like firms?
Yeah, to be able to.
Yeah, I mean like there's if you look up coin payments, they make it very simple to accept for any business. You just can add this to your website and you can from right there start accepting cryptos as payments.
Wow.
And they have multiple altcoins, as it says right there. It's very easy to use, very easy. You can add it to all those shoppings. I mean, I know Shopify is huge. I use Shopify for my website.
Oh, okay.
You can add it right there. So instead of accepting PayPal, it's just a different form of accepting. Now the only thing is getting your customers to also be paying you in Bitcoin. So I know this is already starting with most of like the gear and like accessories that you can buy in the crypto space. Like one of the firms that I'm working with is actually called Bitcoin Energy, and they're an energy drink. They actually have Bitcoin QR codes at the bottom of the can, so you can scan those, and sometimes they have free coins on there for you.
Oh wow! That's
so
awesome.
it kind of makes it into a game, but it's just like an energy drink, and you actually pay with it with crypto. So this adoption of actually using the money is really coming, and it's going to be really exciting when real customers and real people of this space start actually using it in the day-to-day transactions.
Okay. Wow. That's very cool that there's something like this already.
Yeah, that's already
there.
able to accept it. And another coin, I don't know if you want to get too much into it, it's called PunDX. It's actually one of my other holdings.
PunDX?
Yes. DIX.
DIX.
Yes.
PunDX.
And they actually are making a POS system. So basically, for anything that you're like any company that you're having that you actually deal with transactions physically, instead of accepting debit cards or credit cards, you're accepting phone payments with Pundi. And it literally scans your QR code from your phone. Instantly, the payment is accepted, and you paid for your meal or for your clothing or whatever with PunDX and their POS system. So I mean, it's really beautiful. It's really easy to use, and they're really gonna start expanding. This is one.
Yeah.
I really do like this one.
Yeah, interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I know Craigslist has so like people on Craigslist accept cryptocurrency.
Definitely.
That's
on the bottom of the screen on the left side.
Yeah. Oh, you know about it.
Accepting cryptocurrency.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know you used Craigslist. I sell on Craigslist. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Dude.
I do accept cryptos on Craigslist. I have not actually received any. Because you also at the same time you gotta have someone willing to pay you in cryptos for whatever you're selling.
Of course.
So I haven't come across that situation.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for the day. Honestly, maybe the next week I'll just go and buy something with cryptos from Craigslist just to say I did it. You know.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Just put that on your bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course. That's cool, man. I was gonna say I'm digressing a lot here, but for Craigslist, I don't know if you heard of Facebook Marketplace.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So have you used that at all?
Yeah, I've sold a couple things on Facebook Marketplace as well.
Okay.
The flip game is real, man. Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually talk about this a lot. Like you can do you know Gary V?
That sounds so
familiar.
familiar. Is he in McAfee or?
No, he's not in McAfee. He's not really too much into cryptos. He's more of a marketing guy.
Gary V. That sounds so
very
familiar.
Very inspirational. He's a huge business guy. But he talks about this flip game all the time. He's he owns a $200 million company.
Oh
and
wow!
He goes out today and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going garage sailing." This guy he's just a serial entrepreneur. This guy's the real deal.
Yeah.
Definitely something for your followers to check out.
Okay.
He's really good guy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
American Belarusian.
Yeah, he's from Belarus, and
Belarus.
So he's an immigrant. He started off with Wine Library, and now he's just got monster amounts of money. He was an early investor in all these social media companies, Twitter, Facebook. He's huge on Facebook. He believes that Facebook Marketplace, not even Facebook Marketplace, Facebook marketing, social media marketing is huge.
Yeah, I believe
he's kind of gotten me into like kind of what I'm doing.
I think that's good and bad because it's like these social media companies have so much power, but there's also that potential they bring to it too.
Yeah, I mean, they open up doors. I mean, they're really amazing. That's kind of where the attention's at nowadays is social media. So
yeah, of course.
It's the new wave, man. It's the new wave.
Of course. And by the way, believe it or not, we actually have a question here.
All right, let's hear it.
I want to say, what's going on, Sea Striker One? Yeah, he has a question here. Before that, I need to mention something on this live stream. I completely forgot about it. This ULAC mini backpack I got. It's almost like a sponsorship, but it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, this company sent it in for me to test out. Right now they have a 20% discount on it,
wow.
so it's under $30. It's really good for like a slim size if you don't want anything too heavy.
Yeah, that looks really nice, like a nice business backpack.
Yeah, for sure. And then on top of that, you can place I placed my 14-inch laptop in it and everything. So yeah, I'd recommend go check it out. The link's down below, along with the link for Coinbase, and where you get $10 referral
for the $100 investment. You get $10 back.
Yep, and then your Instagram too for crypto.
Yeah,
Look out for
Instagram.
News on cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go on.
No, and then also just throw out that Beaksy one as well. I'll send that one over to you.
Oh right, yeah.
That's also another good exchange for you guys.
Okay, for sure, yeah. And so, Sea Striker One's question here. By the way, what do you think of Cardano?
Cardano, I haven't. I believe it's a privacy coin. I haven't really looked too much into it. As I said, this summer my main studies were actually into the ICOs. So I mean, I like I said, I believe this is another privacy. I could be mistaken, to be honest. There's just so many coins; it's hard to do so much research on all of them. And as I said, my focus was in the ICOs over the summer as I worked with a crypto advisory firm. So they were that was kind of my deal, was to read these white papers, and that's a white paper is basically breaking down the company. You know, it's explaining what they do, what they're going to do with their money, and what their future is. Everything you need to know about the company is in their white paper. So that's how I was reading these for these ICOs and looking for future investments, and that's where we found kind of Beaksy and XYO is another investment of mine. But for these coins, like I said, the top 10 honestly hasn't even been too much of my priority. Cardano, like I said, it's a privacy coin, kind of fits in with Monero, Zcash, Dash, the other privacies. They're all very similar. They're working to do the same thing, and this gets into do I see one of them making it out on top? I don't know. Privacy is definitely going to be a factor. I know people. There's people that want their privacy with their transactions. So it does make sense. I think they all will do well because I don't think that they're going to be taking away too much from their own competition. I feel like they can all survive. It's just on users. It's like saying, do you use Venmo or PayPal? It's do you use Monero or Dash?
Yeah, right.
You know, that's just how I just see that you can have multiple coins because they all do the same thing virtually, but I don't think one has to make it out on top.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And going back to PayPal, I wonder how PayPal, if they're going to implement cryptocurrency, that would be interesting, would you say?
Yeah, that would be really interesting. I mean...
And I feel like they should.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Do you know who owns the Cash app?
That's the advertisement on Snapchat?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. No. Cash app is something different. Look up Cash app really quick.
Cash app. I want to know what this is.
Yeah, so this is...
Square Cash?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so it's owned by Square. That's what I was getting at. And then, so Square owns this, and it's a payment system they have where you can buy and sell Bitcoin, and they also have similar to Venmo. Square is, yes, the service provider for websites.
No, okay.
And
that's
payments. So yes, the POS where you can slide your card in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually have. This is pretty interesting. This is the Cash App card.
If only we had like a webcam here or something so we can see it. But yeah, I'll take a look at it personally. Dude, I personally thought Square Inc. right here was the one that made like Final Fantasy games or something.
Oh no,
that's Square Enix. Yeah.
No, yeah. Square Inc. is like they have the POS thing that attaches to your iPhone, so you can accept credit cards in person.
Yeah.
On your phone. So yeah, that's the card. I know you don't have a camera here to show everybody, but
yeah, unfortunately, sorry guys.
Yeah, actually setting it up with the Cash App, which is another.
Yeah, that's your
my signature.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
And you can store Bitcoin on your app. You can connects right to your app. You can store dollars on it, USD and cryptos on here.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't think you can do your payments in cryptos. I think it takes it from the USD spot as of right now.
Okay.
But that'd be definitely interesting. They do have cards that do that as well.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, dude, that's very interesting. I wanted to ask you a little bit of an off-topic question, but before that, apparently someone else has another question here. Yeah. Do you think the market cap is ever going to be what it once was when Bitcoin was worth $20,000? So it goes back to the question that we were asking: is there going to be another bubble, or like, is there going to be another spike?
Right. And what we're going to see. So if you go to CoinMarketCap, the third tab.
Sure. Oh, third tab. Gotcha.
If you go back to the home of it, actually.
Home of it. Oh, sure.
Yeah, the home of the screen. Or you can even see it right there. It does say the market cap on the top. So yeah, it talks about the market cap, the volume. You can even break it into the exchanges down.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
right there.
Gotcha.
So you can break it down by exchange.
By
but
just
yeah,
the
do I
volume?
see the market cap rising? Of course. I mean, we're at 217 billion right now. As I say, these are global markets, right? So these coins are available to all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And right now our exposure is very low. And in my opinion, I feel like this is going to keep rising. There's going to be a lot more exposure. More people are going to be putting money into it. And with that, that's obviously going to rise the market cap. Because these supplies are, most of these, all the supplies are defined, right? So that means, and that's how you calculate this, the market cap is outstanding supply or shares outstanding multiplied by price. So price is going to rise simply because of supply and demand, which is also going to increase the total market cap.
Yeah, and as things like Robinhood become available, so let's say people don't want to use CoinMarket or Coinbase, sorry.
Coinbase. Okay.
Yeah, so let's say people want to use Robinhood. That's still a benefit for every investor because supply will go up.
Right, they're still increasing, and I mean, just because we're talking about Coinbase, that's just the U.S. one that most people from the U.S. use to exchange money. There's Gemini, that's also from the U.S.
Gemini.
And that's with the Winklevoss twins, the guys from Facebook.
Oh, I see.
And then across borders as well, there's many different exchanges. If you go back to CoinMarketCap, there's thousands of exchanges as well. Maybe not thousands, but hundreds.
Yeah. This is a lot here.
So, yeah, I mean...
Wow, ZB.com is the biggest one?
Yeah, so, I mean, I did not know that. I thought Binance was the biggest one.
Yeah, they have 100% change in the last 24 hours. Let's look into this, shall we?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I mean, since we're here,
yeah.
It's live. Okay, so how does this go up? I'm wondering.
So they have monster volume.
Yeah.
And now there was some stuff about exchanges. Can you click on their actual link right there?
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's go to that. There are some there were some.
Would you like to come back and take out over?
No. You're fine. So
this is a Chinese one.
Foreign, yeah. Let's see how that works.
Oh, we can click America here, United States. Yeah,
so
for sure.
yeah, I haven't seen this one. Interesting. It looks pretty basic, to be honest.
Yeah. Basic, perfect for Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, there's many different exchanges out there. It's just interesting that it has such high volume.
Yeah, I mean, it's up 100% right now. Otherwise, Binance is second.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Coinbase. I'm just looking for that. They've got to be some. Oh, Coinbase Pro. Okay, 34. Because I know Coinbase is definitely up there because that's a very well-known app.
Right, of course. But the thing is, people that get into the space and that are in the space, they're not on They're not trading on Coinbase. They're trading on other exchanges.
Oh, I see.
It's just how it is, man.
Yeah, it's at number 34 too.
Yeah, so. I mean, Coinbase though, to getting started is very easy to get started. It's easy to make an account. You put your bank account right into it. Make your purchases from right in the app. They have the app on the PC and also on both iOS and Android. Okay. So it makes it very easy. It's very secure. I would definitely, one of the biggest things I would suggest, getting two-factor authentication. And that's with Google. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I know about
so that. I know. I mean, it's getting to a point where it's getting out there, but you'd be surprised. I actually broke one of my phones a while ago, and I went to the store, and I was like, what happens with my Google Authenticator account? And she didn't know what that was. Huh. And I was like, I was very confused by that. I thought this was like a known thing is for your security. People don't even really understand two-factor authentication, but it really does provide an extra layer of security that is well needed, especially when dealing with your money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would definitely encourage to set that up.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, definitely, man. This is fascinating stuff to me.
Yeah, man.
Are you? This is a random question, but are you invested in the stock market too currently?
So currently, I'm actually all out of the stock market.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout the summer, I was invested. It came to the point where I was like, I'm spending way more time on cryptos. I'm focused more on cryptos.
And that's fine. Basically, if we look at the futures right now and everything, it seems to be it's down right now.
Yeah.
The Dow Jones has lost some points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but all you hear about the Dow Jones is new highs, new highs. You know, so like, it gets me worrying. I know we're on this 10-year run. You know, there's gonna be a pullback, whether that be in the next couple of months, the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, there's companies out there that I'm very, very bullish on, but not at these prices.
Oh, I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
on that.
so that's kind of my thing is I'm way more bullish in the crypto space.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do see my entries later on,
Mm-hmm.
I will probably go back into the market. But as of right now, I just feel like I want to be out of the stock market in preparation.
Okay, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I wrote this article on thinking of investing soon. Here are some things to consider. I wrote this article basically saying that one of the problems I see is tariffs, which are implemented now,
Right.
but the war's not over. And then the other thing is if, like, oh yeah, the high valuations. Because if you look at the companies, they have a relatively high PE ratio.
Very high PEs out there.
Yeah. And one of the reasons if a pullback happens is that these companies won't lose money initially, but their futures are going to get slashed. They're forecasting,
Right.
which is the PE ratio.
Right.
So I know Amazon has cut their PE ratio by 100, 140 or 150.
Wow, that's really well.
Yeah, here's the thing.
But it's still probably high, I'm sure.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm wondering about Amazon if they're going to go into cryptocurrency. That would be very interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because they're probably the most innovative company.
Yeah, no
right
doubt. Now. I mean, that's something I would definitely want to research and see what they're actually already doing with the blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Them creating their own coin, I would love it because honestly, I think that it would allow a lot of adoption. Because does Amazon have their own? I know they have they have their own credit card now, and you can pay with it, but you can can you store money on Amazon if that makes sense?
That's a good question.
I know you can have Amazon gift cards, but
can you store crypto on Amazon?
See, I wouldn't even know if it would be like Amazon. It would be storing crypto. It'd just be more like holding an Amazon coin, so you're able to buy things. That's all it would be. Think about your video games, but now in Amazon. So instead of buying things on Amazon with the USD, you buy things with Amazon coin.
Okay.
And then you buy Amazon coin with the US dollar. If it was something as simple as that.
Yeah, right.
And all that would be was just a US pairing with Amazon coin.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And Amazon can get tricky with it as much as they want, or they can keep it as simple as a utility coin with a one-to-one peg to something. Whether that be USD or Bitcoin or even just their own flat rate where they keep this coin at X amount of Bitcoin or USD, and that's how much it's worth on their website. It's purely utility based, so that you can only do purchases. Or I can see, which I really see them doing, is implementing a proof of stake where you can stake your coins and then be paid out, and then also being able to pay their affiliates with this coin and things like that. It's gonna make things a lot smoother for them, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, for sure. Well, that's pretty cool. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see. I know if anybody, I would say Elon Musk and Tesla would be the first one to actually tokenize their stock, and that would be technically. I don't know if that would be considered going private or maybe more public. But I could definitely see them tokenizing their current share holdings in the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, I mean,
would be very interesting.
Yeah, because they definitely need the money.
Yeah,
because
that's very true.
Yeah, because the thing is that they're not profitable, but people still trust in them, like they trusted Amazon. Because Amazon, up until this year, end of last year, they weren't making money.
Right, exactly. And
so
the thing about Tesla is, I don't see Tesla as a car company. I see Tesla as a technology innovation company, a futuristic company. I mean,
they're doing so many things, and with renewable energy, along with space and solar, and even brain research now, as we talked about Neuralink.
Oh yeah, Neuralink, yeah.
So they're doing a lot of things, and
or maybe Elon's doing a lot of things.
Well, Elon's doing a lot of things, but you have to know that Elon is part of Tesla, and that does carry over. And
yeah,
even
he's
though
a part.
Yeah, even though Elon is doing outside work, I would still say that's integrated into Tesla's. That's worked into Tesla's pricing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We also have one more question. I guess we have time for one or two more questions.
Okay.
So Savage LOL asks, can crypto be lost if a holder dies without doing anything with it?
Great question. That is a really good question. One thing I would say is...
Let's switch this, by the way. I'll take
Yeah, so supply that is one way that the supply can be like a little adjusted. If I have coins in my private wallet and nobody has access to my private key, which you really shouldn't have anybody accessing your private keys.
Unless you have a will.
Yes, you should be leaving your private keys in your will, because that's how your kids would access it. But I know there are stories out there with people passing with tons and tons of Bitcoin, and nobody has access to those private keys. Those coins are untouchable. Unfortunately.
That just leaves the price up too, right?
Yeah, it's actually taking away from the supply, and they've actually calculated that into the current circulating supply. I'm pretty sure like wallets that haven't been touched in the past 5 years, they kind of take away from the circulating supply. Just because they know that maybe those coins will never be touched again.
Yeah.
And yes, that's unfortunate, but that is the reason for the security part of it. That's part of the security part of it. Don't trust anybody with your private keys. Keep them very secure, but they should also be in a physical place, in a safe, so that when you do pass, you could pass those on to the family members.
For sure, yeah.
And it would be as simple as them inserting the private key or the 22 words in your coding, and then them being able to open up the account and transfer that into a different wallet and having access to those coins.
Wow.
So it would be pretty simple if they had the access to it.
Okay, for
but
sure.
But some do pass without it. So in that case, you're lost.
Yeah, dude, that's a really good question, I gotta say, and that's very interesting. You know that, like, that is a good.
Yeah, point. It's definitely a part of it. It's be careful with it, but you also, there's a reason why it's like that though. It's for the security part of it.
Yeah. Right.
So.
But yeah, okay, cool, man. Is there? I guess that was the last question. We're just about done here. Just want to finalize up some things. So I think this was really productive. I learned a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you having on here.
Talk.
I'd love to. I can't wait for you to start making your videos.
Yeah, they're coming soon. Coming soon, everybody. Check it out. Crypto Lookout.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. YouTube's not easy.
Definitely.
Because again, there's so many people making videos every day. So yeah, we'll talk a little more privately about this. But yeah, besides that, I think what's coming up in the future, and this is what I talk about in the live streams, is that what's coming up is that we're probably going to do this again if you're down.
Yeah, of course, definitely down live stream. You guys have some questions, write them down. We'll be back on live.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I always live stream on Saturdays at this time, starting at 8 p.m. Central Time. So if anyone wants to join. And there's one more question coming in, so that's going to be the last one probably. So C Striker 1 asks, do you think Bitcoin's dominance is a good thing?
Wow, another great question. Yeah. Good job, stream. You guys are really putting out some good questions.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin dominance definitely is important. Definitely important factor to follow. So obviously when the spike happened back in November to January, Bitcoin's dominance fell tremendously because funds were now going from Bitcoin into these other coins. Obviously, it makes sense. Do I see Bitcoin's dominance as a problem now? No, because I know that people are investing in Bitcoin because they still believe in the technology. They're just not believing as much in the altcoins, and that's okay. Also,
and can you define altcoin?
Altcoins are any alternative coin outside of Bitcoin. So I mean, Ethereum and all the other ones are considered altcoins, but going deeper into it, I would say are like any coin outside of like the top 5, 10 are alts.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I gotta say, and we were talking about this. It looks like it's stabilizing at the $6,000 price point right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're like I said, we are in a kind of standstill right now with the market. We're kind of waiting for news. That's kind of how the market's been since the end of summer, like towards the end of summer, end of June or end of July, early August. It's just been in this like kind of like standstill because we've been waiting for the SEC regulation. We've been waiting for this ETF to finally come out. It just keeps getting pushed back.
The darn SEC.
The darn SEC.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude, yeah, that was definitely another great question there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the saddest coin? I personally think Litecoin has the saddest story from what I know, and that's because the creator just sold off his shares, sold off whatever.
Right, and the reason why he did that, he did have reason behind it. He wasn't supposed to sell them all off at one time like he did.
Oh.
He was supposed to be like constantly releasing them to like withstand the company. I that is a sad story, and that is definitely one of the recent news that isn't very well. But there are also a lot of coins that have died out completely.
Oh yeah, like which ones?
If you go back from like the first couple of years, I mean, there's coins that now that are like in the thousands. I mean, there's scams like BitConnect. I mean, that's one of the biggest scams. I mean,
BitConnect.
Yeah, that's a whole
that.
other video in itself. It's talking about I mean, you can. I don't even know if it'll come up anymore because they actually just sold off. Yeah, they actually just sold off the last remaining of that. I know they're still going through like their
bankruptcy or whatever.
Yeah, their bankruptcy and their lawsuits actually.
Okay, because I do know that this can't fade, right? Because no coin can actually fade away, right? It can just lose its value, but it'll still be there.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess technically it's still there. But it's only listed on very little amount of exchanges, if any. I don't think you really can buy it anymore because no one's offering it.
Yeah, right. And if we look at the chart here, wow, $450, and then now it's just at like
so that was literally the definition of a pyramid scheme, and you need to really watch out for that in the crypto space.
Oh yeah, yeah, online in general too.
Yeah, I mean that's it, and that's just we known that's happened. Like, I mean that is a form of marketing, but if you're offering what BitConnect was offering, which was a centralized coin that was on their it was only available on their network, and it was just terrible. It was not a good investment, and a lot of people got into it because it was making them money, and it was making a lot of money very fast.
Yeah, 65 million trades, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
So it was definitely. I mean, I know I heard a lot about that as well. And,
yeah.
So I mean, there are coins that have lost complete valuation. A lot of scams out there that they had their ICO and they wanted to raise their initial funds, and then all of a sudden the people that did that, they just left the market and left the investors with nothing.
Wow, dude,
so
that's unfortunate.
that's part of the up and coming place. You live and you learn. Always do your own research, and like I said, it's a new and upcoming space, but you're investing in the future. So
yeah, I'll say this much: we'll talk about this more in our next live stream that we do together. If you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we'll talk about some scams online in general.
Yeah.
I think, like, what would be good is if we talked about not just on cryptocurrency, but, like, the scams online and just financial stuff in general. If you want.
Okay, definitely.
I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thanks again for having me, man.
Oh, yeah,
it was a great podcast.
For sure. It was a great podcast. It was technically a live stream, but it's kind of like a podcast pretty much. Yeah, because we're just talking.
Yeah.
But, yeah, guys. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, gotta mention I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah. None of this was financial advice, guys. Just like I said, do your own research.
Yeah.
It's join the Crypto Lookout community. We're just trying to help everybody out and get exposure to the space.
Yeah, and follow Crypto Lookout on Instagram. Again, links down below. All right, guys, thanks for joining in. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.